A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Of a famous star. As morning dawns, Larry Noble sits at his wife's bedside in the New York hospital, hollow-eyed and worn out with worry, as he watches for any sign of waking. With him is Maud Marlowe, a close family friend, who's been quietly dozing in the armchair a few feet away. And as she awakes, you hear her say,
Oh, what time is it, Larry?
7:25.
She hasn't stirred.
No. She seems to have been sleeping quietly. Breathing is regular. Nurse says she's far better than she was.
I think she's been better since she realized you were here.
If only there was something I could do. If only it could have been my face instead of hers that Claudia Vincent threw the acid at.
Oh, it's no use talking like that, Larry. Just be glad it's over. And you're free of that murder charge and out of jail. That's what Mary wanted more than anything.
I know. That's what makes me feel even more like a heel. To think how I behaved toward her these last weeks. All the time she was fighting for me. To win my freedom.
Oh, I have a feeling that everything will turn out all right.
How can you tell? With Mary's face all bandaged up like that. Even her hands covered.
Yeah, they got her here very quickly, Larry. There was an ambulance waiting downstairs at that apartment building right after Claudia threw the acid.
Claudia. Ooh. Very name gives me the creeps. Mary told me not to trust her. She said she was dangerous. But I wouldn't listen. Oh, no, not me. I thought Mary was jealous.
Well, I guess she was, Larry.
But she was right. And if she hadn't gone out to prove that Claudia murdered Oliver Wilson, nobody would ever have known. She'd have gone on the stand and lied her head off. Maybe I'd have won an acquittal. But more likely not.
Well, I wonder what they've done with Claudia.
Whatever it is, she's got it coming to her.
Hadn't you better get something to eat pretty soon, Larry, and try to rest?
No, Maud. I want to be right here if Mary should waken. I want her to know that I'm at her side.
Yes, but you don't know how long it'll be, and you ought to keep up your strength.
Oh, never mind about me. There's nothing the matter with me except a growing conviction that I've been a monumental fool. When I think how I ranted about Rupert Barlow, how I said I was going to sue for divorce the minute I got out of jail, if I did get out, makes me want to go into some dark corner and hide.
Now, it's all over now, and I really think you ought to come with me and get some coffee and something to eat.
No more. I've no intention of leaving this bedside until Mary wakes up. Until she knows I haven't deserted her again.
Well, then I think I'll go fetch some coffee for you.
No, don't bother. But, Maud, why don't you go back to your hotel? You've sat up the whole night. You must be dog-tired. What's more, you have a show to do tonight. You'll need some rest.
Oh, I'll go back in a little while. I want to see how she is when she wakes up, too.
This waiting. Not having any idea what to expect. That's the worst of it. I tell you, I never felt so useless in my whole life.
You needn't feel that way, Larry. I'm sure you helped Mary tremendously just by being here.
Wonder how long it'll be before they can take the bandages off.
Well, I don't know. You can't hurry those things.
No, I understand that, but I would like to know.
You'll have to be ready to accept whatever happens.
If only I could have been the one. If Mary's lovely face is scarred on my account...
Hush, Larry. She might wake up and hear you.
One thing I know. No matter what happens, she'll always be the most beautiful woman in all the world to me.
Well, that's what matters.
No, it isn't, Maud. That's the very least of it. What matters is that Mary is lying there bandaged and in pain on my account.
Now, you'll make yourself ill if you keep on like that. If you refuse to go with me, then I'll go by myself, and I'm going to send a tray back to you. I want you to eat something. I don't want to have to look after you, too.
You won't have to look after me. From now on, I'm going to take charge of things myself.
Very well, then I won't be long. You'll ring for the nurse if there's any change.
Sure, of course.
Oh, good. Then I'll go on.
And later this same morning, in the master bedroom of his luxurious Long Island estate at Oyster Bay, wealthy Rupert Barlow is sitting up in his huge canopied bed, waiting for his breakfast tray. Presently the door opens, and his secretary, Julia Dixon, comes in.
Rupert, I brought your tray up myself.
Oh, what for, Julia? Aren't there any servants about? Is this your idea of personal martyrdom, or what?
Of course not. I brought you the paper. Go on, read it.
Now what?
I'm going to put your tray down on this table while you look at the headlines. Or shall I read it to you?
Yes, please do. I'm still half asleep.
Crazed killer hurls acid in rival's face.
Huh?
Claudia Vincent tries to kill wife of famous Broadway actor by slinging acid in her face last night when she had been proved guilty of the murder of Oliver Wilson, killed backstage...
Give me that. Let me see that paper.
I thought it might interest you. Here. Do you still think I'd dramatize everything, Rupert?
Cornered and proved guilty of the murder for which Larry Noble was about to go on trial, Claudia Vincent made one last attempt to be revenged by hurling acid in Mrs. Noble's face. This act was the final desperate attempt of the half-crazed Miss Vincent to mar the beauty of the woman who had brought about her arrest through her own clever investigation of evidence. It is understood that Mrs. Noble is in critical condition as a result of burns in a New York hospital.
Well, what do you think of that?
I can't believe it. Mary Noble burned by acid. It's horrible.
Of course it is. I can't imagine how she ever managed to find the evidence to implicate Claudia.
I wonder if her husband appreciates what she's done for him.
Well, I should think so, Rupert. She saved his life.
Yes, and more than likely ruined her own in the bargain. It's a rotten shame.
No, there's more to the story. It tells how Mary found a pair of gloves Claudia had worn the night of the murder, and how she took them to the police for examination in the criminal laboratory, and they found particles of hemp matching the rope used to kill Oliver Wilson.
I can't believe it, Julia. Why did Mary Noble have to get mixed up with a person like Claudia? Why couldn't she just keep out of it?
I think perhaps she loves her husband, Rupert. Much as I hate to say so after all the trouble you've taken to interest her in you.
Oh, there you go, Julia. Even now, with Mary lying in the hospital with heaven knows what injuries, you bring up that old jealous tirade.
Not at all. I was just stating a rather obvious fact. Perhaps as your housekeeper and secretary, I shouldn't allow myself the liberty of speaking up.
Well, you always have, my dear Julia, in the 10 years you've been here.
Yes, and a lot of good it's done me. I'm no better off than the first day I came here.
I suppose you'd like me to suggest we marry at once, today, in face of all this horror about Mary. That would make a nice news story, wouldn't it?
I had no such suggestion in mind. I only thought you'd be interested in reading the news, and now that I've brought it to you, I'll go back downstairs and get to work. If there's anything else you want, you only have to ring for it.
Mary Noble. I wonder how badly scarred she will be. If only she'd listened to me instead of going on working to free that husband of hers. Wonder what I should do now. Shall I send flowers? Write a message? Or just wait until I find out how serious the injury is?
And a short time later, back at the hospital, Larry is still at his wife's bedside. And suddenly she stirs.
What is it, sweetheart? Shall I call the nurse? Are you in pain?
Larry,
Yes, darling.
you're here.
Oh, of course.
Then it wasn't a dream.
No, dear. Been here since last night.
Have I been asleep?
Mm-hmm.
I can't see. I feel smothered.
Yes, dear. It's the bandages. You mustn't touch them.
Bandages. It's all so mixed up.
Oh, now you try to rest, Mary.
Oh, now I remember. It was Claudia. I found out she killed him. Larry, I proved it wasn't you.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm able to be here by your bedside. But you shouldn't have risked your own life. I'd give anything if you hadn't done it.
Will I be very ugly when this is over?
Oh, of course not, darling.
I don't want to be ugly. For your sake.
Don't say such things, Mary. You couldn't possibly be anything but beautiful to me. And you're going to be all right, sweetheart. Our life together it's just beginning, I promise you that. Now, you be brave and try to be patient until this is over.
I will, Larry.
If you knew how I hate myself for bringing you into this trouble.
Oh, it isn't your fault. I'm glad I proved that it wasn't you who killed Oliver Wilson.
I swear I'll make it up to you somehow, Mary. I swear it on my word of honor.
Larry reaches out and then pulls his hand back as he realizes he cannot take his wife's hand in his. But Mary seems calmer and almost at peace. Well, be sure to be listening Monday to Backstage Wife, the story of Mary Noble and her husband Larry Noble, famous Broadway star.
In just a moment, X-1, but first...
A familiar theme that introduces some of the sweetest music this side of heaven. The music of Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadians. And beginning Monday, July 30th, NBC Bandstand brings you live 2 full hours of your favorite tunes by Guy Lombardo, Tommy Dorsey, plus wonderful arrangements by Freddie Martin and Wayne King. It's 4 top bands in person, joined by sparkling personalities like Burt Parks and Johnny Mercer, your Mr. Music. Remember, July 30th for the premiere of NBC Bandstand.
And now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, The Stars Are The Styx by Theodore Sturgeon.
They call me Karen. It isn't my real name, but it suits my job. Karen, you may remember, ferried dead souls across the river Styx of Greek mythology. I ferried dead souls from the planet Earth out into the unknown of space. My little satellite station is known as Curbstone. I've been here for 20 years. Yes?
Karen?
Oh, Tween. What is it?
There's a ship landing from Earth.
Is it the regular shuttle?
Yes.
Okay, we'll check the candidates as soon as they're in.
I'll fill out the reports for you.
Thank you. Oh, Tween.
Yes?
Close the door a minute, will you? I want to talk to you.
Yes.
How long have you been here on Curbstone?
Oh, I don't know. I think 2 years.
Approximately. And you've been helping me here in the office for almost a year and a half. Have you thought about going back to Earth?
Well, yes, I've thought about it.
And?
Well, I couldn't. I'd rather die. I just don't seem to belong there.
You'd rather stay here and wait?
Yes.
Even though you may never become certified for space?
One day it will happen.
Perhaps. I almost hope it won't.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, the shuttle should be coming in soon. Maybe this trip there'll be somebody aboard for you.
I have a feeling there will be.
I suppose I ought to explain a little about Curbstone at this point. We're a stopping point. Well, a jumping-off place would be more accurate. We get people from Earth who, for many reasons, cannot remain there. Some are antisocial, criminals of a sort. Some are misfits, individualists who cannot adjust to the rigid standardization. Some are just different, people who are physically different and who have been ostracized as a result. And a few are poets, those who have souls too big for the confines of Earth. They come to Curbstone and wait to be certified for space. And it's my job to send them out.
They're waiting.
How many this trip?
2 men and a woman. One of the men...
Yes?
Nothing.
Oh, I've known you too well to be fooled. Why, you're practically glowing. Did you speak to him?
No.
But you think perhaps he'll be the one to choose you?
Well, I think perhaps... the way he looked at me.
How?
Well, he didn't think there was anything funny about me. He just looked.
There is nothing funny about you.
Oh, you're trying to be kind.
You should know me better. I'm the original Billy Goat Gruff.
Oh, I do know you better. You have a kind heart.
Enough of that. Ask them to come in. One at a time. I watched her walk to the door, and I thought she was beautiful. She was, but not in a way acceptable to the eugenics department back on Earth. Tween was an albino. She had silver skin and hair, and ruby-colored eyes. If I hadn't been such an old, fat fool.
This way, please.
Thank you.
This is the senior release officer. He'll check you in.
Thank you, miss.
Your name, please.
Well, don't you know it?
No, I'm afraid Judd! Good Lord.
Hello, friend.
Judson, after all these years.
I understand they call you Karen.
Yes.
Well, good. I'll call you Karen.
Well, what in the name of misery brings you to Curbstone?
Oh, I'm a candidate.
But you, of all people, you had a good position and enough money. You didn't get into trouble, did you?
Oh, the sort.
Of what sort?
When I was your student at the university many years ago, you taught me to enjoy my individuality.
Huh.
I tried to teach my students the same thing. The authorities wouldn't stand for it.
I see.
So I decided to take my chances in space.
Are you aware of the risk?
Well, not fully, or I probably wouldn't be here.
Well, then let me acquaint you with the procedure here on Curbstone. Look out that window. What do you see?
It looks like a spaceship on a launching platform.
Exactly. That ship is aimed at the outer galaxies. It has enough fuel to reach its destination and land, but not enough to come back.
I see.
The people who come here to Curbstone have to be certified before they can take off in one of those ships.
Well, how does one go about being certified?
There are 3 requirements. You must pass a physical examination and a mental examination.
And the third?
You must find an agreeable partner for the trip.
A partner?
A partner of the opposite sex who is willing to share her life, or death, with you from now until eternity.
That could be rather difficult.
When the Earth authorities agreed to Operation Curbstone, it was decided that it would be a method of colonizing the outer galaxies with Earth people. Therefore, these ships are built to carry 2 people.
I see. Well, suppose I choose somebody and she doesn't want me.
You wait.
Just suppose I pass the physical and the mental test, and I even find a partner. Suppose we get into the ship and are launched into space. What are our chances?
Come here. This board shows a light for each ship that is en route in space. There, you see that one? That's a couple named Fort and Mary Ellen. They went out together last week, headed for the Deneb systems. As long as the light shows, they're all right. They haven't been destroyed by radiation or piled up on some asteroid or gotten into a time warp. We know from our years of launching couples here on Curbstone that 46% of them never make it.
And of those that make it?
We don't know. They have the equipment for survival, of course, but who knows what they'll meet on some strange planet.
And still they go out, huh?
Still they go out.
When do I take the examinations?
Well, you can start tomorrow if you like. I'd like to talk over old times with you right now, but I have to check the other 2 passengers you came up with.
Certainly.
Tween, would you come in, please? Tween assists me here. She, too, is waiting to find a partner for the trip.
Yes?
Tween, this is Judson. Judson's an old friend. He was a student of mine many years ago.
I'm very happy to meet you.
Yes, I know you are.
Tween, tell the others to come in, please.
Yes, sir.
A remarkable girl.
Remarkable looking, at any rate.
Well, Tween will tell you where your quarters are. I hope we'll talk soon.
Well, I hope so. Oh, by the way,
Yeah?
that light on the board, Fort and Mary Ellen?
What about it?
Well, it just went out.
was happy to see Judson. My memories of our association were pleasant ones. As he left, the other two passengers came in. The man was young, dark-haired, and slick-looking. His name was Wald. The woman, well, she takes some describing. Her name was Flower. Her voice was like a cello, and her figure was a walking demand for the revival of the now extinct profession of peeping Tom. Let me be honest, I didn't like either of them. That takes care of your documents.
How long will it take us to be certified?
Well, that depends. If you pass your test, it can happen in a week.
And suppose we don't pass our test?
You might be here a year, 2 years. There's no limit. You can keep taking the test, or you can return to Earth.
Earth? Oh. Well, is there anything to do up here? I'm in excitement.
That depends on what you consider excitement.
Anything we haven't already tried. Isn't that right, Wald?
We decided to come up here, Mr.
Call me Karen.
Karen. How quaint.
Anyway, we decided to come up here because we were bored with the routine on Earth.
You're aware of the risk involved?
You mean we might not make it? Well, that's life, isn't it?
Well, for some. For others, it's death.
I don't like that kind of talk.
You'll attend an orientation session tomorrow. I'll have my assistant show you to your quarters. Twin.
Yes?
Come in, Twin. I want you to meet Flower.
How do you do?
And Wald.
Well, Curbstone is exciting already.
Something different, darling?
Oh, shut up.
This is Tween. She'll show you where you live.
Oh, a pleasure. A distinct pleasure.
There was something decadent about Wald and Flower, something almost reptilian. I couldn't believe that these two would ever step into a ship and risk the trip to space. Of course, I could be wrong. Boredom drives people to risk many things. At the session the next day, I watched my three new arrivals. When it was over, I stood talking to Judson. Well, still want to go out?
Yes.
Picked out a companion yet?
Oh, yes.
Really? Well, you haven't met anybody yet.
I've met the person I'd like to go with.
Mind if I ask who?
Your assistant, Tween.
You don't disappoint me, Judd. I fell in love with her the first time I met her, too.
I haven't even talked to her yet, except to say hello and where's the commissary, but there's a quality about her like, well...
Like a cool breeze on a hot summer's day.
Well, you are smitten.
At my age, I can afford to be romantic.
Oh, excuse me, am I interrupting?
Not at all. Judson, you know Flower.
Yes, we met on the ship coming to Curbstone.
I wondered if you were busy.
Me?
You.
Well, not really. No.
Good. Then you can take me down to the recreation room for some methyl caffeine.
Well, I don't use it.
That doesn't mean you can't take me.
Well, you're Mr. Wald.
Wald and I are just very good friends. Besides, he's busy right now. He's being shown around the satellite by this gentleman's assistant.
Tween?
That's her name. The peculiar one. Coming, Judson?
I guess so. You excuse us?
Certainly. When I saw Tween the next day, there were stars in her eyes. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're laughing.
Am I?
Your eyes are.
I'm happy.
Good.
I think it won't be long now.
Before what?
Before I'm certified.
Oh?
I've met someone who really likes me.
I see.
Can you guess?
No, who is it?
Well, you know the dark-haired young man who came in yesterday with your friend Judson?
Wald?
Mm-hmm. We went down to the ship together, and he asked a lot of questions about it, and then we started to talk about us. He says he's wasted his whole life flitting from one diversion to another.
Really?
Now he says he's looking for something with some meaning.
You like him?
He isn't afraid of me. He doesn't see anything wrong with my being different.
I thought he was with Flower.
Oh, he says he and Flower travel together because of habit. They're both bored and looking for something. Or someone.
Well, as long as it makes you happy.
He kissed me. Do you know that no man has ever kissed me like that?
You enjoyed it?
Oh, yes.
Did he say anything about going out into space with you?
He said he could think of no one he'd rather go with.
And when is he going to sign the certification?
Well, he felt we ought to get to know each other better. For a while, anyway. He's right, don't you think?
Yes, I think it would be better.
Karen.
Yes?
I love you very much.
Why did you say that?
Well, because it's true. I mean, there's something so kind and understanding about you.
Don't let it fool you. Underneath, I'm the same as anybody else.
No, I don't believe it. Why, they picked you for this job because you have such compassion. You could never hate.
Could you?
I don't know. I never have, but now I don't know.
That's because you're in love. You can't love really unless you can hate.
I don't believe that.
Oh, I just invented it to sound as if I knew the answers. Come on, I'll buy you a drink to celebrate the big event. I watched her sip the drink, the tones of her skin coming and going with the pulse of her blood. I thought to myself, you're going to be hurt, Twin. You're going to be terribly, terribly hurt. And I wondered if perhaps she didn't know it. Well, Tween, another couple out into space. Maria and Clint. Will you record it and have another ship brought up to the launcher? Tween.
What? Oh, sorry, I was thinking of something else.
Wald?
Sort of.
How long has it been now?
3 months.
Long time, huh?
Well, he wants to be sure.
And you? Are you sure?
Oh, yes.
Nothing to do but wait, then. I have to go over to the hull division. Will you take over?
Yes. Sometime I, too, will be speeding through space, and I'll be a tiny light on this board.
Hello there. You mind if I come in?
Oh, not at all.
Where's Fatso?
Karen? Oh, he isn't that fat.
Well, he's fat enough. Where is he?
He went over to the hull division.
This is a nice layout.
Did you come to see me or the layout?
You know I came to see you. Matter of fact, I wanted to talk to you about something.
Well?
The party tonight at the rec center.
Well, what about it? We're going, aren't we?
I can't make it.
Was something wrong?
I'm meeting somebody else.
Oh.
Flower.
I see.
Oh, come on, now don't look so hurt. Flower and I have bummed around together for years.
Well, I thought she and Judson...
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
Well, they spend all their time together.
Oh, you don't know Flower. She likes to experience new things. When they get to be old, she tosses them away. All except me.
And you? Do you like to experience new things and toss them away?
Look, I'm sorry, Tween, but it's just the way I am.
Like Flower.
Like Flower. We're two of a kind.
Would you do me a favor?
Why not?
Make it a clean break. Don't try to see me again or tell me any more lies, even though I want to hear them.
Okay.
And thanks.
Thanks.
For these 3 months, even though they've been make-believe. At least I've had them.
Well, I'll see you around.
Yeah. I'll see you around.
Hey.
Oh, Karen. Karen.
Oh, no. Just let him flow.
He doesn't care about me. He never has.
I know.
And he's going back to Flower.
I know. I saw him leaving.
Oh, what'll I do? He's the only one who ever wanted me.
No, not the only one. Now there are two of us. The question that kept going through my mind was, what next? How long was Walt going to hang around Curbstone before he decided to go back to Earth? I couldn't believe he'd have the guts to go out into space, but I had underestimated Flower.
Well, the prodigal returns.
Don't make funny remarks.
Tell me, darling, what brings you to my room at this late hour? Could it be that you miss me? Or has little Miss Tween given you the heave?
Shut up and give me a drink. And don't act so self-righteous. You've been having your fling with this Judson character.
My. Jealous, too.
Oh.
I thought you and I agreed a long time ago we'd never make any claims on each other.
That was a long time ago. Frankly, I'm getting bored with this satellite. Let's go back to Earth.
I'm bored with Earth.
Well, we'll go someplace else then.
I am going someplace else.
Where?
Out. Space.
Oh, come on now, don't be ridiculous.
Oh, I am not being ridiculous.
Do you know that only 46% arrive? And if you get there, heaven only knows what kind of monsters or poison atmospheres get you.
I know, but there's a certain thrill in the risking.
Oh, and when did you start feeling poetic?
Since I started talking to Judson.
Listen, Flower, don't try to trick me. I know you too well. You're 100% too selfish to risk your pretty skin for some poetic feeling.
Well, listen to me. You and I have been together for years. We're very much alike. Now I'm telling you that I intend to go out. I want you to sign my certification and come with me.
You're mad.
No. I think maybe if we get away from everything out there, we'll find each other.
Oh.
We'll have a chance to love and be decent like ordinary human beings. Oh, well, don't you see? We've been destroying ourselves for years. We're getting older now. Please try to see it. A clean start, a new life, huh? Well?
This fella Judson has really been filling your ear, hasn't he?
He's a kind person. He doesn't think I'm worthless.
You kill me, girl.
Walt, would you come with me?
No. If you want to wreck yourself, go ahead. And who, pray tell, thinks enough of a cheap character like you to sign her certification?
Judson.
What?
He said he would go out with me. And I intend to go.
I certified Judson and Flower that same evening. They were going to leave at midnight. I was working late. Come in. Well, Flower, I thought you and Judson...
We're not going. At least, I'm not.
Oh?
Judson decided he didn't want me along.
He did?
Here. He left this note for me. The story of my life. Nice girl, but who wants to marry anybody like that?
Let me see. I'm going alone. Don't try to stop me. It wouldn't work. I'd always look down on you, Judson. That doesn't sound like him.
Sounds like every man I've ever known. Except Wald. Wald doesn't judge me.
Except Wald? Where's Judson now?
Locked in the ship. He's leaving at midnight.
3 minutes. Listen, you wait here.
Where are you going?
See if I can reach that ship before it's too late. A man of my size and age shouldn't run, especially when he has a bad valve in his heart. But I covered the distance to the takeoff ramp like a track star. As I hit the edge of the ramp, I heard Tween's voice screaming at me from the control tower.
Karen, look out! You'll burn! Karen! Look out! Karen!
I reached the door just as the rockets were beginning to warm up inside the ship. There wasn't any way to get in except to blast. There's only one way to stop a ship from taking off once the combustion chambers are operating. You have to get the dampening rods into the chambers and stop the chain reaction. It took a lot of beef, but I've got a lot. I looked around the control room of the ship. Judson was strapped into the pilot's chair. The controls were preset for automatic takeoff. I went over to him. He was dead. His head cracked like an eggshell. Judd, I know you can't hear me, but I swear to you, I'll get the one who did this.
Really? Don't move. I have a gun on you.
Wald, you're a pig. You're a living human pig.
Thanks for the compliment.
To take the life of a man who's only acted against you Was that he wanted to help Flower?
I can't afford to lose Flower.
Don't you think you've lost her already?
Not at all. She thinks Judson is going out into space without her.
Oh, I knew he wasn't capable of writing a note like that.
It doesn't matter.
Just how do you expect to get away with this?
Quite easily. Judson isn't going out alone after all.
Meaning?
He's going to have a companion. You.
It won't work, Walt.
Once the ship is headed for the stars, there won't be a shred of evidence.
Okay. You've got it all figured out.
That's right. Now turn around.
You have the gun. All I've got is this. Stop it! Stop it! Fat men can move amazingly fast, Walt.
What are you going to do?
Do? Nothing much. I'm just going to certify you, Walt.
What?
For a flight into space. There are things you can do to a man if you know enough physiology. Pressures on the nerve system that can immobilize him for hours. I did them to Wald. Then I set the controls of the ship again and went out. I was breathing hard. It took me a long time to make it up the steps of the control tower, where Tween was waiting.
Karen. Oh, Karen, I was so worried. I thought you'd be burned. And then when Wall went
I'm
in...
okay. Just let me sit down a minute.
What happened?
Nothing much. I had to stop Judson from leaving alone, that's all.
But why?
Well, Wald decided to leave with him.
What?
That's right. He finally repented. He knew that if he stayed around, he'd just make you unhappy again. So he asked me to stop Judson until he could join him.
You mean he did...
Any second now. There go the engines.
He had a spark of decency in him after all. I knew it.
Yes. In a way, he's a sort of hero.
The ship is trembling now. There they go.
Maybe she knew, maybe not. Anyway, she had loved a man, and now she could love another. She came over to me and leaned over and kissed my mouth. Her lips were cool. Then I knew that I could live with the viciousness of what I had done. When you're old and fat as I am, the kiss of a young girl can make you human again. They call me Karen. They forget what it feels like to be denied two worlds instead of one. And they forget something else, too. Karen was more than a boat pilot. He was an executioner.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features a story by Theodore Sturgeon, The Other Man, which tells of the hardest decision a man could face, to do his job well and thereby aid his bitterest enemy. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Stars Are The Styx, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by H.L. Gold and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Craig McDonnell, Patsy O'Shea, Dick Hamilton, Charlotte Manson, and Bob Hastings. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Bob Maurer and is an NBC Radio Network production.
The music of Freddie Martin, live weekday morning starting Monday on NBC Radio.
countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, Student Body by F.L. Wallace. Our story in 1 minute.
Girl.
Boy.
Moon.
June.
Ring.
Wedding.
Home.
Money.
Baby.
Money.
Education.
Money.
Retirement.
Money.
Solution?
United States savings bonds. There's a smart couple. They're looking to the future. They know how important it is to plan for the future now with savings bonds.
Yes, the plans you make today will determine what kind of tomorrow you have. Are you a student? Are you a young married couple? Are you approaching the golden years? Whatever your age, whatever your situation, savings bonds can be a big help in making your tomorrow secure and happy.
Plan wisely. Buy savings bonds regularly where you work or where you bank. They're a good investment. You're saving your money and you're earning more. Series E bonds pay 3% interest compounded twice a year when the bonds are held to maturity.
And savings bonds are as safe and sound as America itself. What's more, they're protected against loss or theft.
For the big things in your life, be ready with United States savings bonds.
And now, Student Body by F.L. Wallace.
Emergency report to Central Colonial Service. Subject Planet 7G63, Glade. Reporting Dano Marin. Special assignment from Biological Control. Report consisting of standard universal tapes and special recorded comment. First segment, landing day +1. 6 a.m. sidereal mean time. Voices on tape, myself, Colonial Executive Shep Hafner, and Athel, a female member of our crew. Tape commencing.
Watch your step on the ramp, Marin. It's tilted.
Oh, yes, I will. All right, where are these people?
Over there, a few hundred feet. Beneath that tree.
Oh, come on, then.
You know, I'm going to have to note in the log that you cleared the planet for colonization as of last night.
I understand. I'm taping this now for my records. I take full responsibility for the safety of this planet.
All right. But wait until you see this. Here we are. Now, do you see there? In the clearing beneath that tree?
What? Good Lord, they haven't a stitch of clothes on. None of them.
That's just what I told you.
Are they all right?
No, they're just asleep. You can see them breathing.
Look here, Hafner. Who gave them permission to sleep out here in the open?
Shh, don't wake them yet. I gave them permission, Marin. They've been cooped up in that ship for over 6 months. They wanted to sleep outside. And in view of your clearance, I couldn't see any reason to refuse permission.
I know. You were within your rights. But the clothing, why, they don't even have blankets.
They did have, when they bedded down last night. Some of them even used the standard issue sleeping bag.
Well, then what happened to them? There are 13 people sleeping around that tree, and they're stark naked, all of them.
Last night you told me there was nothing dangerous on Glade. Do you still think so?
I know so. I have the complete biological survey.
Does your survey account for anything like this?
You know it doesn't.
That's what I thought. Okay. Now you've seen it for yourself. Let's wake them up and get them back to the ship.
No, wait. You better wake them one at a time. This will be embarrassing enough for them as it is.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I will wake the nearest one first. That's Athel, our lab technician.
Yes, well, here, take my jacket. Cover her with it before you wake her.
All right. Wake up, Ethel. All right, Ethel, wake up. It's Executive Hafner.
What? Oh, what is it?
I'm sorry, Ethel. Something has happened.
Oh, my clothes. My blanket, everything's gone.
Now, be careful. Don't wake the others.
Yes, the others. Why, good heavens, they're all that way.
Ethel, just go back to your cabin on the ship. Everything is all right. We'll explain it to you when we have the others safely back.
But I feel so foolish. How could this happen? What's the meaning of it?
Now, just get back to the ship. Your clothes back there are perfectly safe.
Yes, it's all right. Well, thank you.
You told her we'd explain it later, Hafner. Do you think we can?
That's your job, isn't it?
This planet is as new to me as it is to you.
You're the biologist. What destroyed their clothing?
It would have to be something that could destroy both blankets and clothing without waking the people.
Nocturnal insects?
Ordinarily, I'd say that was a distinct possibility if it weren't for the fact that our surveys show no evidence whatsoever of any such insects on Glade.
Your survey could have missed them, couldn't it?
Not if they existed in any great quantity. Besides, if insects were the answer, there should be some kind of evidence of them right here in the area where Ethel was lying. Certainly one or two of them would be crushed when she rolled over in her sleep.
Well, that sounds reasonable.
Now, look for yourself. There's absolutely no sign of anything at all here.
Well, what about some chemical, some vapor oozing from the ground?
No chance at all. I'd rule that out completely.
Then what?
Well, here's the tree itself. I suppose it could exude some sort of a chemical that might dissolve cloth, but I can check that in the lab.
Well, we'd better arouse the rest of these people and get them back to the ship.
Hey, wait.
What? What is it?
Why, it's some kind of an animal. Just caught a glimpse through there. Ah, there he is. Yeah, you see behind that bush?
Yeah, it looks almost like a chipmunk.
Yes, and he's feeding on something. Why, it looks like a piece of cloth.
Marin, do you think that...
Shh, he doesn't hear us. I'll just ease up to him now. Closer. Now.
You got him.
Oh, well, hey, you little devil.
Watch out, Marin, he's got sharp teeth.
You're telling me. Yeah, easy there, boy, easy. Like to have your head stroked? Sure you do. That's the boy.
He's calming down.
Yes, look at that. Well, he's nestling in the crook of my arm, almost like a kitten.
Almost. Marin, I hope you don't mind short sleeves.
Now, what do you mean?
He's already eaten half the sleeve off your shirt. I think we found the answer to our problem.
The animal was a small furry mammal resembling an Earth-type rodent. Its overall length is 14 centimeters, weight 512 grams. Fur stringy and sparse, color a light beige, indicating no particular protective coloring. The animal was placed in a special cage in a biological laboratory aboard ship for further study. Next tape, landing date +2.
Can we exterminate it?
Oh, it's quite a job.
How about locally?
Hardly. It's ecologically basic.
Look, Marin, you're from biological control. I just got an executive's rating.
Well, look, you know how control works. They send a survey ship over and record the neural currents of the animals. They get everything that has a brain, including insects, and they take a few specimens to check the patterns. Now, here's the report on Glade. The survey shows that this animal is one of only 4 species of mammals on the planet. It is also the most numerous.
So if we kill them off here, others will swarm in from other areas.
Yes, that's about it. There are probably millions of them around the planet. Of course, if you want to put a barrier across the connection to the mainland, you might be able to wipe them out locally.
Look, Marin, I've got a tight schedule. I can't spare dirt-moving equipment for that. By the way, what do they eat?
Well, as far as I can see, anything. Insects, fruit, berries. You could call it an omnivore. Now that our clothing is handy, it eats that, too.
I thought our clothing was supposed to be vermin-proof.
It is on 27 planets. On the 28th, we met up with a little fellow that has better digestive fluids, that's all. Oh, he's eating a leather belt right now.
Yeah. Are they likely to bother the crops we plant?
They shouldn't, but then I would have said the same thing about our clothing.
All right, Marin, you worry about the crops. Find some way to keep them out of the field. Meanwhile, everyone sleeps inside the ship until we can build dormitories.
Biological examination of omnivore posed this question. Why only 4 species of mammals on Glade? No reptiles and only a few birds. On all comparable planets, a large variety of species. Nearest Earth parallel, fossil remains from the late Carboniferous show creatures like the omnivora, but on Glade there appears to be no further evolution. Next tape segment, L+22, place, temporary warehouse, Quartermaster Crone, and myself.
There you are, Mr. Marin. They got in every seat, sack, and barrel in this part of the warehouse.
Well, what makes you think it's mice?
Look, I've worked in grain elevators for 30 years in Kansas. Look at the way that sack is gnawed. And look over there. Droppings.
Well, it's not exactly...
I know, so they're mice-like. I want to know how to get rid of them.
Have you tried poison?
You tell me what poison to use, and I'll use it. They got into a 100-pound sack of arsenic and went through it like it was whipped cream.
Well, how did they get in? It's a fused dirt floor, isn't it?
It should be pest-tight. But see, there are cracks along here. They must have burrowed through. They were loose in here, and we don't have time to build another warehouse. They've got to be controlled here.
Well, catch me a few of them alive, and I'll see what I can do. Next morning, a dozen live specimens of mice-like mammals were delivered to the lab. No 2 of them were affected by the same poison, and the poison developed to control the omnivora was completely ineffective. Alternate discussed with Executive Hafner and Machinist Tully of Computer Engineering. Next tape, L+24. Hafner, Tully, and myself.
I tried it out yesterday, Mr. Hafner. I think I've got all the bugs licked now.
Tully, I don't want any more metal used than is necessary. This isn't standard authorized equipment.
You're not dealing with a standard authorized problem.
Are you ready to activate the device?
Sure thing. Here, help me get it down from this assembly bench down on the floor.
All right.
There you go, Kitty. Now, what do you think of her? A robot cat.
Well, I still think we need at least 3 of them.
Mr. Marin, inventory on colonial expeditions is always short. 1 will have to do. All right, Tully. Show us how this mechanical mouse catcher operates.
You better get out of the way, Mr. Marin. If you've touched any of the mice in the lab, she'll go for you. She reacts to smell as well as sight and sound.
All right, Tully, start it up.
All right, Kitty, go ahead and have a good time.
Why, she moves like a cat.
You know, I wouldn't bet a plug nickel on any mouse in the same warehouse with that baby.
Robot cat device proved relatively successful in Warehouse 1. Rodent damage held below danger margin. Next tape, L+37. Tully, Hafner, and myself.
I can't salvage it, Mr. Hafner. Just look at that. That skeleton was chrome steel, now it's bent. The skin was duroplastic, and now it's cut to ribbons. The computer parts are all smashed to bits.
How do you account for it, Tully?
Well, look around the poor thing. You had me build it for mice. These things weren't mice. They're a good foot long. They just outnumbered him, that's all.
You examined these dead animals, Marin?
Not closely.
Well, you'll find your mice have grown. They ganged up on that cat.
There aren't supposed to be any rats on Glade, are there?
Well, there weren't supposed to be any mice either. What are you going to do?
We'll have to build another warehouse. 2-foot-thick fused floors.
Wait a minute, Mr. Hafner. To do that, we'll have to stop all other construction. The atomic generator...
Why not build more robot cats?
You weren't here when we opened the doors, Marin. The warehouse was swarming with rats. Tully, how many robot cats would we need? 5? 15?
We don't have enough parts to build more than 3.
If we need more than that, we'll have to rob the computer in the spaceship. And that's one thing I refuse to do. The spaceship is our only link with Earth until the next wave in 2 years. All right, then I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll floodlight the supplies at night. We'll post a guard with half-charged rifles until we can move to the new warehouse. That'll take about 10 days. Meanwhile, our fast crops are ripening. It's my guess that the rats will turn to that for food. Now, in order to protect our future food supplies, you'll have to activate your cold storage animals, Marin.
Mr. Hafner, it's against regulations to release any cold storage animals on a planet until after a complete investigation.
That takes 10 to 20 years. This is an emergency.
I don't want to be responsible for another rabbit-infested Australia or that planet in the Centauri system that the snails took over.
Marin, I'll take the responsibility. You're recording now, aren't you?
Yes.
All right. If that isn't authorization enough, I'll put it in writing.
Well, the beast I've got for this job won't be any good against rats this size.
You've got hormones. Use them.
Dead rats were gathered and frozen for further study. Observed animals, a wide variation in size. Internally, a lack of uniformity in organs. Some specimens had huge fangs and delicate jaws. Others had tiny teeth and massive bone structure. Obviously the most scrambled species ever encountered by a biologist. Reproductive cells were especially baffling. Proceeding with hormone treatment on cold storage Earth animals. Next tape, L+39. Lab technician, Atheel, and myself.
First one is coming out of it, Mr. Marin.
Yes, that makes 85% viability. That's not bad. All right, fella, now take it easy, take it easy.
Oh, he's a cute little fella.
But he's tough. That's a wire-haired terrier. They're small, but they've been used for ratters since the Middle Ages.
Do you think he's nearly ready for the hormone course?
I think so. All right, first pituitary injection.
Ready. All right, now, this is going to hurt just a little fella.
Oh. Yeah, it's a dirty trick, isn't it, jabbing you with a needle when you're fresh out of the deep freeze? But don't you worry, fella. You'll be glad you had it. You'll stand a better chance against those rats when we work you up to about a Great Dane size.
L+50, artificially enlarged terriers loosed in the fields of the fast crops. Following tape, field observation of terriers. Executive Hafner and myself.
How long have they been at it, Marin?
Since daybreak. I have to bring the dogs in at night and shoot them full of antibiotics.
Will the dogs last?
Well, this crop will be harvested in about a week. We'll make that. And there'll be 2 weeks to rest up before the next fast crop shows above ground. I think we've got the rats licked for a while.
Well, when you get a chance, you might ask some of those PhDs in Central how they happened to hand us a survey and forgot to give us a few details like mice and rats.
I have been checking on that, Mr. Hafner. I don't think there's any doubt. When that survey was made before we landed, there weren't any mice and rats on Glade.
Then where did they come from? How did they get here?
I don't know. But we're going to have to find out.
Research project on pseudo-mice and pseudo-rats interrupted by field trip with Biological Survey Officer Whitehead. Tape L+63 in field geological survey vehicle. Whitehead and myself.
You think you got troubles? Can you read a sonar map?
No.
Here, look. See this scope? It reads straight down about 10 miles. I'm supposed to be out looking for oil shale, but I got kind of interested in this. Look, first few feet down, you can find fossils. After the first few feet, that's about 20,000 years, there are no fossils until you get way down here. That's about the same as late Carboniferous on Earth. Then you get the fossils again. It doesn't figure.
But isn't that usual? Changes in geological eras?
You don't get it, man. I'm not talking about eras. I'm talking about years. Straight down from here, 20,000 years ago, this was a desert. And then 3 years later, it was a jungle. 5 years after that, there was a glacier. Earth normal would be 50,000 years or more for a change like that.
What caused it?
Yeah, you've got me. Fluctuations in the sun, I don't know, but talk about changeable weather. This planet really has it.
Based on accumulated data, theory developed regarding mammalian life on planet Glade. Tape L+65. Place temporary headquarters of Executive Hafner.
Marin, I've got a lot of work to clear up this morning.
I thought you might like to know where the mice came from.
They don't bother us anymore.
I have also determined the origin of the rats.
They're under control.
I wonder if they are, Mr. Hafner.
What do you mean?
Mr. Hafner, I've checked this with Whitehead. Between 100 million years and 20,000 years ago, this planet was changing violently and quickly. The first change wiped out the dinosaur just the way it did on Earth. But it kept on changing. Desert, glacier, jungle, and all this within the lifespan of a single animal. For 1 million years, this was the norm of existence on Glade.
I've checked geological survey. The planet is stable now.
Well, that's not what I'm getting at. The point is, survival was difficult. Only one species of mammals managed to come through.
Now, wait a minute, Marin. There are 4 species, ranging in size from a squirrel to a water buffalo.
One species. They're the same. If the food supply for the largest animal increases, some of the smaller so-called species just grow up. Conversely, if the food becomes scarce in any category, the next generation, which apparently can be produced almost instantly, switches to a form which does have an adequate food supply.
The mice?
The mice weren't here when we got here. They were born of the squirrel-sized omnivora.
And the rats?
Born of the next larger size. After all, we are environment, too, and they adapt to environment.
Let me get this straight. The mutation...
On Earth, it would be mutation. Here, it's merely normal evolution. These animals have no genes or chromosomes. I don't know how they pass down heredity, but they react to external conditions far faster than anything we've ever encountered.
Then we'll never be free from pests unless, of course, we rid the planet of all animal life.
Yeah, you mean with radioactive dust? That won't work. They survived worse.
Oh, maybe we could leave the planet. Leave it to the animals. I could exercise authority under Clause 364.
It's too late for that.
What do you mean?
We sent back the specimen ship. The animals are on Earth, too.
But those specimens were in cages.
Yes, but the next generation would be small enough to get out through the bars. They'll be running free in the cargoes of the spaceships. They'll land on Earth, and the first thing you know, a new mutation of rats will appear. They won't have any reason to connect it with the specimens from Glade.
They won't be able to vermin-proof every building on Earth.
No, we've got to stay here. We've got to study the animals here and find out how to beat them. If we can.
Next tape, L plus 83. Place, Field Outpost. Quartermaster Crone, Hafner, and myself.
I saw it, Mr. Hafner. I saw it.
Are you sure?
There. You see that tree? No, the big one.
The white flowers?
That's the one. I saw it behind there.
Can you describe it?
Well, I didn't get a good... That's it. That's what I heard.
It sounds like a tiger. I've heard them like that in India.
You watch. Right by that tree.
Hey, look out. It's heading this way.
Give me that rifle.
Hurry up. Shoot. Try again. I got it.
Come on, let's take a look.
Now look out. It might be still alive.
No, I hit it square with that second charge.
What in the devil is it?
It's a good 8 feet long. What do you make of it, Marin?
Well, except for the lack of markings, it closely resembles a tiger.
Look at those claws.
We chase the rats out of the warehouse, they go to the fields. We hunt them down in the fields with dogs, and they breed tigers.
Well, that's easier than rats. We can shoot tigers.
Wait a minute. We've been here less than 3 months, Marin. The dogs have been in the fields only 2. And that tiger's mature. How do you account for that?
I'm not sure, Mr. Hafner, but I imagine if the survival factor is high, the young don't ever have to be young.
What?
They can be born as fully functioning adults.
Development report. Mice under control. Field rats under control by terriers. Tiger-like animals under control with searchlight and rifle. Additional complication. The original animal developed an appetite for electrical insulation. There is no protection except to keep the power on at all times. The last tiger-like animal was seen at L plus 130. After that, the attack ceased. By L plus 2 years, the animal seemed to have been controlled in all its forms. However, 3 months before the next colonists were due, a new animal was detected. Food was missing from the fields. Dogs were useless. The animal seemed to roam the fields, and the dogs did not attack. Patrols were unable to find the animal. Tape L plus 2 years. Hafner, Engineer Tully, and myself.
Now, here's the way I'm rigging it up, Mr. Hafner. Whatever it is, it spotted the photoelectric cell rig. So I've worked up an alarm that reacts to body radiation.
You're sure the animal won't spot that?
Well, I'm burying it in the field. Then we'll move the visible alarms to another field.
All right, Tully. As soon as the alarm goes off, notify Mr. Marin and me. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Just as soon as the alarm goes off.
L2 plus 15. Radiation alarm sounded. Place, field station, Hafner, and myself.
Look out where you're walking, Marin. We don't want to scare it away.
Well, there are dogs in that field, aren't there?
Well, there were supposed to be, but they didn't bark. Quiet.
There it is. See?
Huh? It's in between the rows. Look out. Give me a clear shot.
No, wait a minute. Don't shoot.
Look, Marin, I'm the executive here. I say it's dangerous.
Dangerous? That's why you can't shoot. It's more dangerous than you know.
Quiet. It'll hear you.
We're downwind. Now, listen, Hafner. This is important.
I don't want any lecture now, Marin. I don't want to lose the shot.
You've got to listen. That animal could evolve mice. We stopped mice and it brought rats. We turned back the rat and provided the tiger.
All right, we stopped the tiger.
Not really. There was another animal being formed. The one that's in that field now. It took the animal 2 years to create it. How, I don't know. 1 million years were required to evolve it on Earth.
He's moving away. Marin, I'm going to shoot.
Don't shoot. We can't destroy the animal. It's on the Earth now and on other planets. We've never even been able to get rid of our own rats. How can we exterminate this animal?
All the more reason to start now. Get down and give me a clear shot.
Listen. Are their rats better than ours? Will their beasts win or ours be stronger? Or will the two make peace, unite, and interbreed? It's not impossible. This animal could do it if interbreeding had a high survival factor. Don't you see? After the tiger, they bred this thing. If we shoot it down, what will come next? Look at it, standing erect. Opposable thumbs, binocular vision, a large brain capacity. This one I think we can compete with. It's the one after this that I don't want to face.
Marin, it must hear us. It's looking this way.
Look at it, Hafner. He's holding his hands up to show us he's got no weapon. Drop your rifle.
Are you sure?
Drop your rifle! He's coming this way.
He's got one of those white blossoms in his hand.
Yes. Must be a sign of peace.
Wait. It looks almost like a man. I wonder what's inside that body.
I wonder what's inside that head.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Verbal Agreement by Arthur Sellings, the story of an unsuccessful poet who was forced to ask what it was the aliens could want that was half as precious as the skins they wouldn't sell. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Student Body, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by F.L. Wallace and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were John Raby, Bob Hastings, Kate Wilkinson, James Stevens, Charles Carruth, and Merrill E. Joels. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Bob Maurer and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Suppose you met a man in a tavern and he told you quite seriously that he wasn't a man at all, that he was the last Martian left alive. Well, that's what happens to a newspaper reporter next week when he is sent out on what appears to be a routine crank story. What happens next, though, is very far from routine, as the interview leads to a whole succession of astonishing events. The story is The Last Martian by Frederick Brown, next week on X-1. The Fisher Body Awards to Teenagers will be made tonight on the NBC Radio Network.
While waiting for darkness to cover the magic island of Euclidia, Jerry and Joan have gone on a tour of the island, leaving Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory on the captive yacht. Mrs. Gregory's daughter, Joan, who has spent nearly all of her 15 years on the island, has undertaken to show Jerry the submarine locks on the 5th level below the surface of the artificial island. They descend to the proper level in the magnetic elevator, but the door fails to open. Jerry and Joan are now badly frightened as they hear the rushing of water outside the elevator shaft. They've been there for some time, and the air in the elevator car is getting very bad.
Jerry, I can hardly breathe. What are we going to do?
Must be some way to get air into this thing. These Euclideans are too smart not to figure on accidents in these elevators.
You're right, Jerry. There's an oxygen tank. Small valve in the ceiling. I forgot.
Just like a girl. Where is it?
feel around on the ceiling. Up there in the dark.
Yeah. No. Can't reach it. Not tall enough.
Then we're going to suffocate. Jerry, I can hardly breathe.
Wait a minute. I'll stand in the corner. Oh, the corner here. It's round. Maybe I can brace myself. Yeah. Now, I'll make a cradle of my hands. Feel around me. Can't you?
Yes, Jerry. I will. There, I feel your face.
Well, you can't stand on my face. Run your hands down my arms. Feel how I've got my hands fixed?
Yes, Jerry.
Then put your foot in my hands. Get your hands behind my head.
Yes.
Lift yourself up. Then take one hand loose. Feel around on the ceiling. If you grab a valve, turn it on.
I will try. Oh, there now. Hold me, Jerry.
Quit pulling my hair. I'll hold you. Hurry up. My chest hurts.
I think I have it, Jerry.
Then turn it on.
Oh, Jerry. I can feel it. The oxygen. Oh, it feels so good. It almost hurts.
Then get down. You must be breathing it all in up there. Jump down.
Yes, Jerry.
Oh, boy. That's good stuff. Whee. I'm going to carry a tank of that stuff with me after this. Whenever we go out sightseeing on this crazy island.
I've never known anything just like this to happen. One of the submarine locks must have broken and let the ocean flood in.
Plenty of pressure at 6 fathoms, too. Can they pump it out?
Oh, yes. The chambers are all made so they may be flooded deliberately, then pumped out.
What's that for?
In case of escape, the local prism reflectors in the control chambers will locate the escapers. Then the switches are thrown to close the automatic doors around the section they're trying to escape through. And the water turned on.
Golly whiskers. These guys are plenty mean, aren't they?
Yes, Jerry. No one can imagine the awful things on Euclidia.
Well, when we get rescued, Captain Bradford and your mother will know how to use all these slick inventions to do a lot of good back in our world.
Listen. The water has nearly stopped running around this elevator shaft.
I can't hear anything but a buzzing in my ears. It feels kind of funny and dizzy.
Oh, I forgot. The oxygen. We must turn it off again, Jerry. Too much is not good for her.
Okay. Get up on my hands again.
Yes, Jerry, I will.
Hey! You stuck your finger in my eye.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so am I. I'll be glad when the lights come on in this thing. Now, up you go. Can you reach it?
Yes, I can feel it.
And shut it off.
That is done. My head feels queer, too.
Boy, you sure hit the floor hard. Hurt you?
No, but I'm... Listen.
Yeah, you can hear the pumps working. Sound like they're working mostly on air. The water must be all gone.
Then we shall soon be out of here.
Oh, boy. Here comes the light.
Yes, we can see now. Oh, this is much nicer.
I'll say it is. They sure built these elevators right anyway. Not a drop of water got in. Can we start this thing?
Not yet. When you hear the permanent magnets, release the car, and the portative magnets take hold. Then we may safely actuate the control button.
Yeah, you're feeling better, all right. I can tell by the big words. When you were scared in the dark, you talked pretty near human. But now that everything's okay, you got to spout large language.
Now, Jerry, do not make fun of me. I was so...
Hey, Joan. Jiminy Crickets, Joan. Cut that out.
I cannot help it. I have never cried before. It feels so good.
Oh. Well, if that ain't just like a girl, it feels so good to cry. I'll bet you have a swell time at funerals. Oh, turn off the water. Golly whiskers, here. Take my handkerchief and wipe your eyes. And for the love of Pete, quit bawling.
Thank you, Jerry.
Water outside the elevator, water inside the elevator. You women are all alike. You're mighty smart and brave till things get rough. Then we men have to step in and help you.
You're wonderful, Jerry.
I know it.
There go the magnets, Jerry.
I can hear them.
We'll soon be able to start the car.
Won't be any too soon for me.
There now. The pumps have stopped.
And the magnets have stopped clicking. Can we go now?
Yes. The door should open automatically, just as it would have when the car reached this level if the water had not flooded the chamber outside.
Well, if it ain't opening very fast, what can we do to hurry it?
Nothing. If it does not open automatically, someone is keeping it closed. That can be done from the control chambers.
Oh, what would they want to do that for?
Some important experiment must have failed, and G47 does not want anyone to see what happened.
G47's afraid to let anybody know he can make a mistake, huh?
I think that is it. We of Euclidia are allowed to see only perfect things. The scientists would have us think they never make a mistake.
Well, if we can't land here, let's go up to one of the other levels and look around there. Nothing's ever going to scare me after drowning like we did.
Oh, we did not drown, Jerry.
We thought we were going to, same thing. I'm going to push this button for the first level. If anything else goes wrong, I want to be near the top. Here it goes.
Oh, the car is actually ascending. Oh, I'm so happy.
Now cut that out. Don't you go blubbering again. There's the fourth level. We're up this far anyhow.
And we're going up smoothly now, Jerry. We will soon be out in the open air again.
Not until we look around on this first level, we won't. Hey, that's funny. The car didn't stop at the third level like it did at the others.
That means the third level is sealed off. Some secret work is going on there.
Same thing on the second level. You sure don't get to see much when you go on a sightseeing tour of this island.
Just be patient, Jerry. Before we leave the island, you will have seen nearly all of it. If we ever leave it.
There goes the first level. Guess we don't see anything.
Oh, I'm glad, Jerry. I want to get back to my mother's yacht and see Mother and the captain. I've been on this island nearly all my life, Jerry. I do not like it.
I guess you're right, Joan. This place hasn't been any fun for you. What's going on now?
Now this car has picked up the top of the elevator shaft housing. We're raising it above the ceiling of the island with us.
Well, if that door doesn't open automatically for us when we get all the way up, I'm going to find some way to break out of this car.
Now we're at the top. The door will open now.
Well, it better. Hey, listen. What's that noise?
Oh, that is rain, Jerry. It rains very hard here in Euclidia.
Oh, it's a wonder old G47 hasn't figured out a way to stop the rain. He's figured everything else.
Now, Jerry, the door is opening.
Yeah. Boy, and look at it rain. About as wet up here as it was down there. Well, come on, get ready to run for it.
Run where?
Oh, to the Gregory yacht, of course. Where do you think? Boy, that rain's wet. Do we have to shut the door?
No, the door closes automatically. See, it is closing.
Come on, Joan. Hang on to my hand. We're going to get plenty wet, so don't take time to show me anything. And don't stop running till we get to the yacht. That was some sprint. You're all right, Joan? Watch out now. The deck of this yacht is going to be slippery.
I'm so wet, Jerry.
Watch your step now. Now you run into your mother's cabin and get into some dry clothes.
Yes.
I'll go to the captain's cabin. Go on, scoot.
I'll hurry, Jerry.
Talk about rain. I'd better get inside myself. Sorry to bust in without knocking, Captain, but it's... Hey, Tex. Oh, nobody home, huh? Oh, guess he's in the radio cabin or Mrs. Gregory's. Yeah?
Jerry, may I come in?
Yeah, come in.
Oh, Jerry.
Why didn't you change your clothes like I told you to?
Well, my mother is not in her cabin, Jerry, and I have no extra clothing of my own.
Oh, well, then I guess I'll have to give you some of mine. See, here's a good heavy sweater and a pair of pants. They'll keep you dry anyway.
Oh, thank you, Jerry. I'll go to my mother's cabin and put them...
Wait a minute. Something funny here.
Where, Jerry?
On this boat, I mean. Even if Mrs. Gregory and Tex were in the radio room, they'd hear us running and yelling around here, and they'd be worried about why we were gone so long. I wonder where they are.
Do you think something has happened to them?
Gosh, I'm afraid so. Come on. We'll try to find them.
Darkness has fallen on the Magic Island. Once more, the weird yellow glow of artificial daylight covers the scientific isle of Euclidia in the South Pacific Ocean. Joan Gregory and Jerry Hall returned hours ago to the captive Gregory yacht after a terrifying experience in one of the magnetic elevators, only to find Captain Tex Bradford and Mrs. Gregory are missing from the yacht. A note handed to Jerry by the skipper tells them that Mrs. Gregory and Tex are on a secret mission and to make no move until their return. All is silent on the island, while in the radio cabin of the yacht, Jerry and Joan listen to music from the radio and try to keep themselves cheered up as they wait anxiously for Mrs. Gregory and the captain.
I wish they would hurry, Jerry. I'm so worried.
Oh, cheer up, Joan. Tex can take care of your mother and himself, too.
I know Captain Bradford's a wonderful man, Jerry, and Mother thinks he can accomplish anything. But none of you realize fully the dangers on this horrible island.
Well, it won't help them any for us to run around yelling for them. Just sit still like this note said and listen to the music. Well, it's a good thing old G47 didn't stop our incoming radio beam anyway.
I like this music, Jerry. It's coming from one of your Hollywood radio stations, is it not?
Yeah, and those guys are real hillbillies, too.
What does it mean, this hillbilly? Are they all men from the hills? All with the name William?
Now, look, there's so many things you don't know that I don't know where to start teaching you. Do you like the music or don't you?
Oh, yes, Jerry. I enjoy it thoroughly.
Well, then sit still and listen to it.
Stop it, Jerry. Stop that music.
Okay. There you are now. I'll hold it there, and you go ahead and talk while I listen to it.
No, stop it. Stop it, please, Jerry.
Okay. Hold everything.
Oh, I'm sorry to be so much trouble to you, Jerry, but I'm so nervous. And you also are nervous, Jerry.
Oh, nothing of the kind. I'm just as steady as a rock.
Then why are you chewing that lead pencil up?
Never mind me. You just sit still and quit worrying. They'll be along in a minute. I'd better leave this radio open on Johnson's wavelength, I guess.
Jerry, do you know all about my mother and Captain Bradford? I mean about all the mysterious things they do all over the world, and how they can have ships belonging to many countries helping them. So many things. Do you know about that, Jerry?
No, and Mrs. Gregory made me promise I wouldn't ask her any more about it, but we'll find out someday. Hey, now where are you going?
I was just going to look out over the island and see it.
No, you're not. Get away from that door. Now, what did I tell you? Didn't it say in the note for us to act just as if your mother and the captain were here on the yacht with us?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry, but I get so worried.
Well, so do I. But you'll get over there. Get over there and sit down. Go on, I said. Sit down.
Why, Jerry, you're wonderful when you speak like that. So commanding and masterful.
Oh, all us men are like that. We don't expect much from you women. And, of course, I'm 16 and you're only 15. Makes a lot of difference.
Oh, I'm sure it does, Jerry.
I wish they'd hurry, though. That yellow light is all over the island. And if they haven't got any of those strict glasses, they might get lost.
I think they would not be allowed to have the glasses, but they should be able to find their way back to the glare of the yacht lights.
Hey, quiet. Listen.
Why, what is it?
Shh, quiet, I said. Listen.
Someone's coming along the deck.
Sit still. We don't want to act too anxious.
Oh, Oh, Mother.
John, my dear.
Boy, am I glad to see you folks.
Sorry to leave you kids like that, but we had to get something done quick.
And Tex thought that if you didn't know anything about it, you wouldn't be subject to any danger over the idea.
Oh, Jerry and I had a terrible experience in one of the magnetic elevators.
Yeah, and Joan acted just like a girl. Started right in to cry.
Well, Jerry, you can't expect us women to be as brave as you men.
No, I guess I shouldn't. Well, Tex, did you get some plan of escape figured out?
I hope so. Pat and I took a long chance getting this thing. Is the cabin all tight?
Jerry and I have inspected the opaque cloth covering since the rain. The cabin is quite safe, Captain.
Good girl, Joan. Well, here's what we've got.
What's that? Looks like a pocket fire extinguisher.
That is one of the small oxygen tanks these scientists have in clips in nearly every room on the island.
I have never been allowed to touch one of those, Captain. Did G47 give it to you?
Not exactly.
Gee, you swiped it.
I'm afraid we did, Jerry. I don't approve of taking anyone else's property, but this means our chance to escape from the island, possibly our lives. So we took it.
But when the loss is discovered, G47 will be very angry.
That's why we've got to work fast. I knew they couldn't see me carrying this thing. I had it inside this coat of opaque cloth, but they'll soon discover it's gone.
I'll help you, Tex. What do you want to do?
Tell you in a minute, kid. First, I want to get Joan and Pat started on my celluloid diving suit. You three wait here while I go to my cabin and get it. I'll spring the lock on this door. Don't open for anyone but me.
You look so excited, Mother. Has the captain a good plan?
Yes, dear. Tex has a very fine plan. Not for our immediate escape, but for getting a message to Johnson so that he may arrange our rescue.
I know what it is. He's going to use that celluloid diving suit with this little oxygen tank inside of it to get through the ring of gas in the fog.
Yes, Jerry. The captain is going to try to swim out through that fog ring tonight. And he's going to put one of those homing pigeons inside the suit with him. Then he'll release it when he's safely outside the ring.
That is wonderful, Mother. And it may work if there's nothing metallic on the captain's clothing.
Yeah. Say, that oxygen tank might set off the alarm.
That's taken care of. While you and Joan were gone, I helped the captain cement a lining of the opaque cloth into his celluloid diving suit and his swimming suit. The magnetism won't affect anything inside that cloth.
I think, Mother, that you and Captain Bedford are almost as clever as G47 and his scientists.
What do you mean, almost? Tex has got those Euclideans beat.
Okay, Jerry.
I'll let him in.
Now, we'll have to work fast. I put my swimming suit under this robe, so it won't take long to get ready.
Good.
Jerry, go up in front and get the other pigeon. Hide him under your coat as you did before and take your time.
Okay, Tex. I'll be careful not to be seen.
Now, Pat, if you and Joan will help me get into this thing.
What a peculiar garment, Captain.
It's airtight and opaque. That's all we need.
J12C to J24Y. Johnson to Bradford. Message for you.
Quiet for this.
Have had no word for you for hours. Transmission conditions perfect here in Los Angeles. Cannot understand why storm north of you should prevent reception by stations east of you. Latest report picked up from oil tanker at 24 degrees south. Says electrical disturbances south of them. Can you hear me, J24Y? If no answer, we'll repeat every quarter hour. That is all. Johnson.
Then there's no hope for the pigeon to reach him. He's gone back to Los Angeles.
Don't worry, Joan. That was all in code. Johnson is really standing by at latitude 24 south right now.
Yes, dear. And when he said he'd received a message from an oil tanker, it meant he had contacted an oil tanker and was refueled. So now he's ready for anything necessary to help us.
You have some clever and loyal friends, Mother. Will you tell me someday
yes,
just
Joan.
how...
Someday I'll tell you all about Tex and myself and how we're able to do so many things. But now...
It's me.
I'll let him in.
I got him all right, and nobody saw me.
Good boy. Now I'll tie this message to his leg. Then you can help Pat and Joan cement me up in this thing with the oxygen tank and the pigeon inside on my back. Then when I get well beyond the fog and gas rings, I'll rip the celluloid shirt off and turn the pigeon loose.
But how are you going to get back through the gas ring? You're going to ruin that suit taking the pigeon out of it.
That worries me, Jerry. Tex thinks he can hold his breath long enough to swim through the gas ring coming back. But I'm afraid. Oh, Tex, if anything should happen to you...
Oh, forget it, Pat. I'll make it. Now, the pigeon is ready. Open the tank so it barely releases the oxygen, dearie. Joan, you help Pat cement this thing around my waist. Then you can slip the tank and the pigeon down my back and cement the helmet on.
That's about as little as I can let out of the tank, and be sure it'll be continuous, Tex.
Thanks, Jerry. Now, stick the tank down my back so it lays flat along the bulge where this thing is cemented to my swimming belt.
Coming up. Say, that's just going to fit in there.
Here's the pigeon, Tex. You're sure it won't get crushed?
No, there's plenty of space inside this stiff celluloid thing to give the pigeon room. Now, let him down in there easy now.
Little bird isn't a bit frightened, is it, Mother?
We've always been kind to it. It trusts us to continue being kind.
Here's your helmet, Tex.
Just a second. Now, last-minute instructions. I can't talk when that is on. Now, when you cement it all around my shoulders, you, Jerry, walk out on deck with me. Walk between me and the island. I'll have this robe of the island cloth over my head and shoulders. We'll both go to the engineer's quarters. You'll have to stay there till I get back.
But, Tex, how will we know if you get...
If I get into the water and start swimming out without being seen, it's all over but the shouting. So I'll have Jerry get the engineer to make 8 bells for you as soon as I disappear in the water. Okay, put it on.
Let's hold this edge here, Jerry. And you hold that down, Joan. Now hold it tight.
Yes, Mother.
Very tight and smooth while I put the cement around it. There. Now, hurry now. The cement will dry as you walk the deck, and I'm afraid something will happen any minute. Goodbye, dear, and good luck.
Bye, dear.
All clear, Mrs. Gregory. Throw that robe over his head.
All right, wait a minute. There.
I'll take his arm. Now, we're all set. See you later.
Oh, Mother, it's so wonderful of the captain to think of that.
Yes, dear. And it's so brave of him to attempt it. Oh, I hope we've fixed everything all right.
It seemed all right, and the oxygen tank will last a long time at the rate it was discharging.
I wonder how long it will take him. He said the engineer would make 8 bells for us when he's safely in the water.
It's only a few seconds until 8 o'clock now, Mother, so no one will notice anything out of the ordinary in the bells.
Yes, Tex figured on that, or he wouldn't have used it for a signal.
Isn't it about time now, Mother?
It shouldn't be long. The engineer was expecting him. Had the hatch open. He could get into the water noiselessly from there.
And if the pigeon gets away successfully, will it be sure of reaching Johnson's boat?
Easily, Joan. According to the position Johnson gave, he's only 5 degrees north of us, or about 345 miles.
Mother, the signal.
Yes, dear. Tex is gone. He's out in the water, swimming through that gas.
Oh, Tex.
Exploring tomorrow. Your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell, Jr.
In the biblical story of the handwriting on the wall, everybody could see that handwriting. The king, Belshazzar, could see it clearly enough. Trouble was he couldn't tell what it meant. If you recall, he had to call in an interpreter. A lot of people can see handwriting on the wall. The argument is, what does it mean? The thing that makes reading that handwriting on the wall so difficult many times is that the message is one we don't want. We don't want to be able to read. Many times when a man's faced with a problem that he can't solve, he doesn't want to admit that it's an absolute limitation that cannot be broken. Then the grand old art of buck passing comes in. That's when you start saying, well, it isn't my fault. He won't let me. Let's consider a situation of that type.
My name is Lester McClellan, Secretary General of the United Nations. It was a busy day in the year 2180. The ambassador from a now independent colony on Venus was due to see me that morning.
There was a note on my desk requesting me to call Dr. Kingston, head of the UN Research Bureau, as soon as I had a chance. Kingston was working on a project vital to the future of mankind. I decided to call him. Honey, I got your message. What goes?
Good news about the space drive project. There's been a substantial breakthrough. We've made a qualitative advance.
And what does that mean in plain English?
That we'll be finished with the groundwork in less than a year. Maybe even next month.
Have you prepared a news release on this thing?
Not yet, Lester. We're waiting for official approval first. Look, can you come down to the lab sometime today? I can give you a briefing on the new material. Study in.
I'll try, but I'm not promising. The ambassador from Venus is due any minute, and you know what a tough job I'm going to have with him.
Yeah, I understand. Well, Lester, if you're free at all...
I'll call you back if I am.
Right. Good luck with the ambassador.
Thanks. Oh, he's coming now. I can't talk anymore.
Try to see me later, will you?
Bye, Bernie.
Secretary General McClellan? I'm David Rockwood, Art Secretary of Venus Central Council. How do you do?
Won't you be seated, Mr. Rockwood?
Oh, thank you.
I'm happy to welcome you back to the planet of your ancestors. Is this your first visit to Earth?
It is.
I wish I could hope that you'll enjoy your stay here, but I can't do that, can't I? Anyway, we're very happy that the Outworlds agreed to send an observer to the Earth. We have a major problem here, Mr. Rockwood. We think your worlds can help us. Of course, you're familiar with the text of the General Assembly resolution.
Of course. The three governments of the former Earth colonies of Mars, Venus, and Callisto have sent me as their representative. The space drive was not cheap, you know. We saw no need of 3 observers when one would do.
Yes. Yes, I see. I've arranged for you to have a brief guided tour of parts of the Earth to illustrate our population problem.
Oh, very well. We've agreed to reserve decision until we've seen Earth.
We can begin our tour now, if you like. And this is the Bureau of Population Statistics. You see that screen over there, Mr. Rockwood, the one with the red numbers on it? It's the up-to-date record on Earth's population. Every birth and death is automatically fed into the main computer channel as soon as it's known, and within an hour it's registered up there.
13,762,312,000. The last column doesn't stay still long enough for me to read it.
No, it doesn't. We average 500,000 new Earthmen a day, and the computer has to move fast to keep up. It's an average gain of 3 or 4 million people a week, 150 million a year. And the figure keeps rising.
What you need is a really efficient plane. Something to clear away 3 or 4 billions.
I don't find that very amusing, Mr. Rockwood. An interplanetary war would achieve the same thing. Shall we move on? Down there you see New York City. Population 15.5 million.
Incredible. One long stretch of buildings. Well, the largest city on Venus has only 200,000 people.
I can remember when we still had trees in New York. Not anymore. Wood is a luxury on Earth now.
And so is living space. Where do you expect to put the billions you're figuring on in coming years?
I wish I knew. We're converting Mars and Venus and Callisto into livable worlds, but the rest of the planets are impossible to convert. We need population relief in a hurry.
Meaning emigration to Venus, Mars, and Callisto?
Yes. If you will permit us to send more settlers to the planets we built and colonized.
Oh, come now. Do you really think we owe you the right to send the overflow to us?
Let's finish the tour. We can discuss possible arrangements later.
You know, the handwriting doesn't have to be on a wall. Sometimes it can be on the face of a computer, as it was this time. But the handwriting was there. But now, what is the meaning of this handwriting? Does it mean that the colonists should allow Earthmen to move out? Or does it maybe have some other meaning?
And this is Food Station 117, an artificial island in the Gulf of Mexico. Since we've hardly any open land on Earth for cultivation, we've turned to farming the sea. We've developed some new foods. These are plankton sticks, synthesized from small sea creatures, microscopic crustaceans. And this bread comes from plankton flowers. Taste it.
Oh, dear. It's not very tasty stuff, is it?
No, it isn't. About half of Earth's population knows no other food. It's nutritious, and the supply is practically limitless. And we can't spare land for grazing animals. The only ones left are in the zoo. Care for another slice of steak?
No, thanks. No, thanks. This one will do very well. May I have something to drink, please, to wash away that taste?
How did you enjoy the rush hour subway ride?
It was a nightmare.
I've given you as good a sample of Earth's life as is possible in a single day. You've seen much of North America, but it's worse elsewhere. Why, in Asia alone...
Please, Miss McLaren, no more statistics. You've made your point over and over again.
I'm sorry if I've tired you. But I wanted to show you the contrast between Earth and your own uncrowded planets. And now I appeal to you, Mr. Rockwood, in the name of the humanity that's common to all our worlds.
You want us to let you send overflow masses to us?
We built those colonies as a safety valve for overpopulation. And now that we need to use that valve, it's shut tight. Mr. Rockwood, I'm a reasonable man. I know we're asking something that amounts to an imposition, but I beg you.
I agree. Earth is terribly overcrowded. The population of Venus is about 700 million. Mars has about 1 billion. Callisto, 300 million. Now, these figures are close to the peak of optimum population. And since our death rates are low, thanks to medical advances, we have to keep a careful watch over birth rates to maintain normal population distribution.
I ask you to
Now, hear me out, please. We're deeply moved and sympathetic to your plight. We wish we could help you. We feel pity. The pity we would have for an idiot who, given a loaded gun, proceeds to blow his brains out.
What did you say?
I knew how overcrowded Earth was before I took your little tour. But we haven't grown overcrowded and won't. Why? Because we have small worlds, smaller than Earth. We can't allow ourselves to breed at Earth's rate. We see the inescapable need for certain self-restrictions.
You don't see the moral obligation to accept some of our excess people?
We see a moral obligation to refuse. To force you to see your real problem and its solution.
I am empowered by the General Assembly, Mr. Rockwood, to exert any means within my power to make you change your mind. And Earth, I'm afraid, has more armed vessels than your 3 worlds combined.
So you're threatening war?
Not war. Survival. You have country estates, rolling green fields, and we don't have an inch of free space.
So you'll fight to make us let you in? You're bigger fools than I thought. 14 billion of you crammed onto one world, and a mere 2 billion of us scattered over 3. Why, a war would ruin you. We'd bomb you in a shotgun spray and knock off 100,000 no matter where we struck. While you'd have to pry us out of nooks and crannies. We'd lose perhaps 100 million people, but you'd lose billions. I think we could risk it.
So you won't yield. You'd risk war even. You won't take colonists. When we colonize the stars, we shall do it differently.
The stars? Yes, you're counting on them as your last hope. But do you seriously think colonizing the stars can help your population problem? Oh, look, Mr. McClellan, even if you invented a workable star drive tomorrow, it would take 5 years before the first ships got off the ground. You're adding 500,000 a day. Now, how many people would these ships hold? 1,000 each? With 500,000 new births a day, you wouldn't be able to ship people to the stars fast enough to keep up. The math's against you, sir. You'd have to run as fast as you could just to stay where you are.
I suppose there's no further negotiation we can do, Mr. Rockwood. I'll arrange for your immediate return to your home planet.
Will you think about what I've said?
I'll think about it, yes. But we have 14 billion people on Earth.
Mr. McClellan, we're not anxious for war. But your threat doesn't scare us either. We'll fight to defend our way of life. And we'll win, sir. Good day, Mr. McClellan.
Human enough to want to pass his troubles along to another person. In this case, he wanted to make it that his troubles were because the colonists wouldn't let people emigrate. That wasn't the trouble. The trouble was emigration had become impossible. And that was the thing that he had to accept. And like the king in the biblical story, he didn't want that interpretation of the handwriting on the computer.
Sit down, Bernie. Tell me how this star drive of yours is coming.
I think we've got it licked, Lester. But you tell me, are the colonies going to open up?
No.
No. But they can't do that. They just can't clam up and refuse to take in Earthmen. Well, Lester, we built those colonies. They don't have the right.
I want to talk about the star drive, Bernie. How close to finished is it?
Well, we haven't fully worked out the field equations yet, but with some fast computer work.
I'm not interested in equations. How long do you think it'll be before Earth has spaceships that can travel faster than the speed of light, fast enough to reach the stars?
I told you before, Lester, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. Till the pilot model is finished, that is. No more than a year, certainly.
Now, you had some very interesting figures thrown at me today. Have you ever realized how many ships we'd need to send out before we can even make a dent in our population? Hundreds a day.
Well, even so, it would help some to get...
No, it wouldn't. Bernie, I want you to do me a favor. When you perfected your new star drive, hide it. Don't destroy it, because we'll need it someday, but sit on it. Put the schematics away until I give the word, and don't publish your findings.
Have you gone crazy, Lester?
No, I've suddenly gone stark, raving sane. Look, the new star drive is a dodge, a subterfuge. It's a substitute for the real answer to our problem, Bernie. Venus is not overcrowded. They're controlling population increase there.
What does all this have to do with my star drive? Why should I stop work on it?
Because it will cloud the issue. The people won't believe the figures. As long as there's what seems to be a way out, they'll cling to it. If you suppress the star drive, there'll be no way out at all. And Earth either cracks wide open or it grows up. There's no middle course.
And you're suggesting that I deliberately destroy my life's work?
Just for a while. Sure, it's a great thing to explore the stars, but first we need to control ourselves. If the world learns that there's a star drive, they'll think it's a way out. It isn't, but we'll never convince them of it. First, we set up our population control programs, make them see the need for them, get them into operation, and then reveal the existence of the drive. We may have to wait a generation.
No, I absolutely refuse. You can't meddle with science this way, Lester. Research must continue. If you interfere with me this way, well, I'll have no choice but to resign.
Your resignation is accepted, Bernie. Effective immediately.
What? But I only meant that if...
I'm sorry, Bernie.
So you're actually fine?
If you want to call it that. You don't want to understand how disastrous it would be to continue work on the star drive, okay. Your successor will be a man who will understand such things. Maybe he won't be as gifted as you are, Bernie, but that's all right. The stars can wait.
Lester, you can't fire me like this. So cold-bloodedly, so ruthlessly. We've been friends for years.
You think I don't know that. But all along, I've been soft-hearted, been making concessions, taking the easy way out. We farmed the seas. We colonized 3 worlds. We cleared away half the Antarctic ice pack to make new land. All big, important things, but all dodging the real issue. Now I'm backed against the wall. The whole world is. I can't be soft-hearted anymore. Lester, this doesn't sound like you. I know. You think I like the spot I'm in now? But a new order has to come about. An order which demands strength, tough-mindedness, courage. It's either that or a situation I don't want to think about. I can't let anything stand in the way now. Do I have time to clear out my office? You can have until tomorrow. And remember that you're still bound by security regulations in case you plan to scream to the news sheet. I'll remember it. So long, Lester. Good luck. Thanks. I'm probably going to need it.
Limitations even to what science can accomplish, the highest technology. The fundamental physical limitation of the amount of matter there is in the universe. Old Malthus was right. With a higher technology, you can push the limit out a little further, but not beyond the limits of the universe. They're fundamental. It becomes necessary, sooner or later, to go in for quality instead of quantity. Not for numbers, but for fineness. Not for bigger, but for better. That's the direction we've got to go.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another world, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend the steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. But before we join Superman, here is an important message.
Say, fellas and girls, ever try one of those quiz games in your gang? My pal Jerry Link and I started one the other day with his best friend, and we sure had a busy time of it. Okay, Tommy, it's your turn. What's a catafighter? No fair telling him. Now, come on, Tommy, what's a catafighter? Give up?
Yeah, I give up.
All right, Jerry, you tell him.
Oh, that's easy. A catafighter is one of those little planes a merchant ship carries. They launch it by catapult.
Only you can't get a catafighter back aboard because those ships don't carry hoisting equipment. It stays right in the sea, and the crew gets picked up by boat.
Good for you, Mr. King. Oh, now here's yours. What country invented dive bombing?
Oh, that's easy. Germany.
No, you're wrong. Gee, are you dumb? The United States Navy invented dive bombing.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Jerry, if you're so smart, see if you can answer this one. What is a vitamin? Vitamin. Well, a vitamin is a... Well, it's a... Oh, gosh.
Well, gang, I can tell you right now, very few people actually know just exactly what a vitamin is. But we do know what vitamins can do for us. You see, it's this way. None of you can expect to grow up really strong and husky unless you eat right. And eating right includes getting all your vitamins. And I can't think of a better way to start getting two mighty important vitamins, B1 and D, than by tucking into a swell big bowl full of delicious Kellogg's Pep for breakfast. Yes, sir, it's that easy. And gosh, anybody who's lucky enough to have had a taste of crisp, crunchy Pep knows what a super delicious cereal it really is. So how's about doing yourself a double favor, hey, gang? Just ask your mother to get you a package of delicious Kellogg's Pep tomorrow and start right now having a mighty swell-tasting breakfast that's mighty swell for you. Remember the name now, Pep, P-E-P. Pep is made by Kellogg's in Battle Creek, Michigan.
And now, the adventures of Superman. As you know, Dr. Leander Cameron, eccentric scientist, believing there are possibilities in the mechanical man, has set about building one with the financial backing of the Daily Planet. Unknown to Dr. Cameron and his friends, Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and editor Perry White, dark forces are already at work, planning to seize the mechanical man when it's completed. As we resume our story, we find ourselves in a lavish penthouse apartment in a very fashionable part of Metropolis. In the apartment, we see a tall, thin man dressed in a jet-black dressing gown who is seated before an open fireplace. He has a hawk-like face with a sharp nose and small, beady eyes set deep in his head. At this moment, he is engaged in cleaning and polishing a beautiful pearl-handled revolver. An oak-paneled door opens somewhere in the room behind him.
Yes, Stetson?
The gentleman who called us here, sir.
Excellent. Show him in.
Very good, sir. Will you follow me, sir?
Sure.
You are James Mansfield Blood?
That's right. And you were the vulture.
Yes. Sit down, Mr. Blood.
Thanks. Nice layout you got here, vulture.
Thank you. I am fond of elegant surroundings.
Yeah, so I see. Pretty flossy, I'd say. Well, everybody to his own taste. Now, look, before I hire you for this job I want done, I'd like to know if you can do like you say you can do.
You mean procure the model of the mechanical man for you?
Yeah, that's right.
Have no doubt about that. I am not the head of my profession for nothing, Mr. Flood. There isn't anything I cannot accomplish. The vulture always finds a way.
Well, that's what they tell me. You're kind of a jack of all trades, ain't you?
I prefer to think of myself as a master of all trades, Mr. Blood.
You sound okay to me.
I say okay. Probably the finest actor and disguise artist in the world. I've always considered myself as great an artist in the matter of escape as Houdini himself. I never had the opportunity to match my ability against his.
Well, I'm sure glad to have you working for me. You helping me, I can't miss. You helping me, I can't miss.
In that, you are perfectly right. But let's get back to the mechanical man you want me to secure for you.
Right. But it's...
Secure for you.
Right. But it's...
Secure for you.
Right. Just the model. There's a wacky old scientist named Dr. Leander Cameron who's working on it. This mechanical man is supposed to be able to see, talk, walk, and actually think.
Sounds incredible. Are you sure?
If what I've heard is true, yes. Dr. Cameron, they tell me, never takes on a job unless he's sure he can do it. He promised editor Perry White of the Daily Planet that he would invent this mechanical wonder, and I'm sure he will.
Interesting. A mechanical man who can walk, talk, see, and think. Positively intriguing, to say nothing of its value in hard coin of the realm. I'm told millions could be made out of such an invention. There isn't a government in the world who wouldn't pay plenty to possess the plans of such a device. By George, we could sell it to the highest bidder.
We? You mean I could? Remember, Boucher, you're working for me.
Oh, yes, I am working for you. I had forgotten for the moment. Where is Dr. Cameron's laboratory located?
All the dope is on this sheet of paper. I wrote it out for you so you wouldn't forget.
Excellent. I shall begin at once to make inquiries as to the progress of the mechanical man. Within a short time after it is completed, it will be in my hands, never fear.
Great. Then you can turn it over to me and collect your dough for doing the job.
I'm afraid we're going to have a little difficulty about that, Mr. Blood.
What do you mean?
I've done very well at my business, Mr. Blood, as you can see. I haven't reached this position of comfort and financial security by working for others. I work for myself, Mr. Blood, and I work alone.
Now, just a minute, Boucher.
You've been very helpful in putting me onto this excellent opportunity. I'm grateful to you. However, business is business, and so...
That revolver. Why are you pointing at me?
Wait. No. You rang, sir? Yes, Judson. The gentleman seems to have overstayed his welcome. Take him away.
And so enters our story, The Vulture, a villain destined to play an important role in the lives of our friends, especially in the life of Superman. Our scene now changes to the laboratory of Dr. Leander Cameron. Dr. Cameron is seated before a workbench on which stands a foot-high replica of the mechanical man. With several long instruments that look like needles, he is fitting something into the head of the mechanism. Nicodemus, Dr. Cameron's helper, stands by. Listen.
Nicodemus, hand me that tiny screw.
Ask for it politely, you don't get it.
Nicodemus, I cannot hold this piece of mechanism in place without that screw. Hand it to me.
Not until you ask like I was a human being and not a slave.
Very well, very well. Will you please hand me that screw, Nicodemus?
Happy to, Doctor. Here you are.
Thank you, Nicodemus. Thank you.
You're welcome, Doctor. Hey, how's the mechanical man coming? You think you'll be able to perfect it?
I should know in a few moments. I've only to put this part in place, and the mechanical man, that is this model on the table before me, will be ready to perform. If it does as I expect it to do, I shall have been successful. The long screwdriver, hand it to me, Nicodemus.
Please.
Please.
There's the signal now. I'll go to the door.
Ask who's there first. I'm expecting Clark Kent to watch my demonstration, but be sure before you admit him.
Okay. Yeah, who's there?
Clark Kent, Nicodemus.
It's Kent, all right, Doc. I'll open up.
Oh, Nicodemus.
Hello, Mr.
That's Cameron.
You're a half hour early. I didn't expect you before 3:30.
Oh, well, I had nothing particular to do this afternoon, Doctor. Thought I'd drop over earlier.
Well, Kent, as it happens, you're just in time. There. That completes it.
You mean your mechanical man is ready to be tested, Doctor?
Yes, that is, the model is ready for testing. Nicodemus, bring me the control mechanism. If you please.
Yeah, good thing you landed there.
Oh, Kent, I'm terribly excited. This little mechanical man standing on my workbench may be the forerunner of thousands like him. Mechanical men who can fly our planes, drive our tanks, march into battle against the enemy, an indestructible force against which Hitler and his satellites will be helpless.
Yes, indeed, Doctor. You're quite right.
Exactly.
Here's the control box.
Thank you, Nicodemus, thank you. Now then, I will just plug it in here. So, and now, gentlemen, we are ready. As soon as the eyes of the mechanical man begin to shine, I shall give it certain commands. If it obeys them...
Doc, they're shining now.
Certainly look eerie. 2 green lights shining in that square metal head.
We're ready for the experiment. Now, my little man, I command you, walk toward me.
Well, it's walking. Coming straight toward you.
Stop. I command you, stop.
Doctor, that's terrific.
Congratulations, Doc. You've done it again.
Gentlemen, let's not be premature. No, indeed, never be premature. Let us see now if the little man will talk. Repeat after me. I am a mechanical man.
Great heavens, Doctor. That's astounding.
A simple scientific achievement, actually, Kent. The reaction of sound waves on a mechanism similar to a talking machine. But come, I'm anxious to see if the mechanism can think for itself. As you see, I have erected a difficult obstacle to tell the mechanical man to walk to the other end of the table. Let us see if he has the brain power to overcome the obstacle. Little man, walk to that end of the table.
Amazing, simply amazing.
Yes, by heavens, he's walking toward the obstacle.
He's reached the obstacle and stopped. Now let us see what he does.
Look, he's moving around it. He's turned to the side and moved right around it. There. He stopped.
Brother, that thing... Doc, you've really done it again. That mechanism can see, talk, walk, and think for itself. What you looking so funny about, Doc?
A man of metal that can think for itself. I hope, gentlemen, we've not invented something we shall not be able to control. In the hands of the wrong people, this invention could do as much harm as good. We must guard it carefully, gentlemen, most carefully.
Don't worry about that, Doc. Matter of fact, you can forget the mechanical man altogether. I'm taking over from here.
What's that, Kent? Kent, that pearl-handled revolver in your hand. You're pointing it straight at me. Kent, what's the meaning of this?
What's the big idea?
For one thing, I want that model of the mechanical man. For another thing, I am not careful, Nicodemus.
Johnson, Juniper, now that I really look at him, that man is not Clark Kent.
No, I see that now myself. He's wearing a clever disguise. But if you're not Clark Kent, who are you?
I, Dr. Cameron, am called the Vulture.
Shocked into speechlessness, Dr. Cameron and Nicodemus can only stand and stare at the strange-looking individual who only a moment ago had appeared to be Clark Kent. In just a moment, we'll return to the adventures of Superman. But right now, here is another important message. Say, gang, how many of you are lucky enough to have a dog at your house? Well, I'll bet you take just about the finest care in the world of him, and you make sure he gets plenty of the right kind of husky. And you know, the same thing applies to every one of us, too. Well, you can't expect to be a really strong, sturdy fellow or girl unless you eat right, which includes getting all your vitamins. And say, when you start the day with a bowl full of super delicious Kellogg's Pep for breakfast, you're on the way to getting two mighty important vitamins, B1 and D. So don't waste any time treating yourself to one of the best doggone breakfast cereals you ever put a spoon to. Ask your mother to get you a package of delicious Kellogg's Pep tomorrow. And remember...
Pep, Pep, get in step. Make your cereal Kellogg's Pep.
And now, back to Superman. With a sinister, evil grin on his face, the Vulture snatches up the model of Dr. Cameron's perfected mechanical man. To what nefarious ends will the Vulture turn Dr. Cameron's amazing invention? And will Superman be able to prevent the impending catastrophe? Well, be sure to be with us tomorrow and every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Tune in and follow The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Follow The Adventures of Superman every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Superman is directed by George Lothar and is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. This is Mutual. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another world who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. But in the American way. But to join soon, here is an important message.
Say, gang, here's an exciting story about some flyers who were marooned on an iceberg way up in the frosty reaches of the Arctic Circle. Their plane had been forced down, and they were...
Gee, fellas, this time we're really in a tough spot. We've only got about enough food for 3 days. Chances are they'll be flying this way for another week. Hey, Clark, you get that radio fixed yet? You get that radio fixed yet?
I'm still trying it, sir. But the battery's weak.
Well, keep on trying. Maybe we can rig something up.
For 5 long, icy days and nights, those flyers kept a constant watch for the silver gleam in the sky that might mean rescue. Finally, when the men were almost resigned to a frozen death...
Hey, Lieutenant, I hear something. It's a plane. I know it's a plane. There we are.
Gee, I guess Harry's got Arctic fever all right. Poor guy. I don't hear anything.
Why, say, it is a plane, all right. He's dipping his wings. He's seen it. Gee, we're safe, fellas. We're safe.
Yes, after 5 days on an iceberg, those flyers were finally rescued and returned to their base. Now, it wasn't just luck that they came through such an experience as well as they did. No, sir. Because those flyers were in top-notch physical condition, they weathered those hardships successfully. And that brings me to an important bit of information I have for all you fellas and girls. None of you can expect to grow up really husky and strong unless you eat right, which includes getting all your vitamins. So I want to tip you off to a mighty swell way to start getting 2 very important vitamins, B1 and D. It's by starting the day with a bowl full of crisp, crunchy Kellogg's Pep for breakfast. Ask your mother to get you a package of grand-tasting Kellogg's Pep tomorrow. And remember the name, Pep. P-E-P. Pep is made by Kellogg's in Battle Creek, Michigan.
And now, The Adventures of Superman. As you remember, Superman, in the guise of Clark Kent, has become involved in a new mystery having to do with Dr. Leander Cameron's invention of a mechanical man that can see, walk, talk, and even think for itself. We know, though our friends do not, that a new villain has entered upon the scene, a tall, strange-looking man known as the Vulture. In our last episode, we heard Dr. Cameron demonstrate a model of the mechanical man for Clark Kent. When the demonstration was over, Dr. Cameron was shocked to realize that, But wait. Let's listen in as he tells the story to Editor Perry White in the latter's office at the Daily Planet.
And I suddenly realized, Perry, that the man I thought was Clark Kent was another person altogether.
Oh, impossible. A modern Jekyll and Hyde? Ridiculous.
Nicodemus was there. He saw the thing happen.
Yeah, that's gospel, Mr. White. No, this is simply unbelievable. Leander, couldn't you do anything to stop him from taking the model of the mechanical man away with him?
No, Perry. You see, it all happened so quickly. We were just stunned. This man who called himself the Vulture held us at bay with a pearl-handled revolver. And then he picked up the model and control box and walked out. We came here directly. Perry, this is a horrible situation to be in. That model is the only one of its kind, and I couldn't possibly reproduce it. There are in it certain delicate parts that could only be procured in Germany before the war.
Now, wait a minute, Leander. If these delicate parts can only be procured in Germany, how do you expect to make the life-size mechanical man?
It would have been a simple matter to copy the parts from the model, but without the model, I'm helpless. You see?
Yes, of course. Hello, Chief. Heard what happened and came as quickly as I could. How are you, Dr. Cameron? Nicodemus? Hiya.
I'm wondering if you really are Clark Kent. We don't want to be fooled again.
What? No, don't start changing your face or I'll jump right out of my skin. Oh, yes. From what I hear, a man who looked exactly like me and spoke exactly as I do came to watch your demonstration of the mechanical man. That's right. And after we demonstrated the mechanical man model, he held us up at the point of a gun and walked off with it. Oh, I'll be...
Which reminds me, Kent, you never did show up.
No, I had a mysterious phone call telling me to come to a certain address on the other end of town. Whoever it was promised me a big scoop, and when I got there, I found there was no such place. Hey, I'm beginning to see what this is all about. That voice on the phone must have been the Vulture. He wanted to get you out of the way long enough to pull this little trick of his, huh? Yes, that's obvious now.
Harry, it's a very frightening thing to contemplate, that model of the mechanical man being in the hands of a vicious, unscrupulous, and dangerous criminal who will sell it to the highest bidder. Yeah. I do not need to remind you that the mechanical man can do anything from flying a plane to driving a tank. The Axis powers will give untold millions to get their hands on it, and I'm afraid they will if the Vulture has anything to do with it.
Well, there's only one thing we can do, and that's to get in touch with the police at once. Get me Inspector Henderson and police headquarters at once. Dr. Cameron, tell me more about this Vulture. What did he look like?
Well, he's tall and angular and very sinister looking. And when I really got a good look at him, his face reminded me of a bird, a vulture. By heavens, it made my stomach turn over.
White speaking. Oh, hello, Inspector Henderson. Say, Inspector, I'd rather not discuss this matter over the phone. I think I'd better come down and see you right away. Will you wait for me? Good. Be right there. Now, we'd all better go down to police headquarters and get some action on this at once. Kent, where are you going? Aren't you coming with us? Oh, yeah, sure, Chief. I'm going to get my hat and coat. I'll be right with you. Get my hat and coat, nothing. This calls for faster work than Clark Kent can accomplish. Into this vacant room here. Now, off with my street clothes. There we are. And now to do a job as Superman. Up with this window. And now to Dr. Cameron's laboratory. Up, and away! Here's the door to Dr. Cameron's lab. Oh, locked. Well, no help for it. I'll have to break in. That does it. Now to have a good look around. If the Vulture dropped even the slightest clue, I've just got to find it.
And so the stalwart figure in red and blue begins the search. Up and down the room with incredible swiftness he moves, searching minutely every single inch of the floor, the walls, the workbenches, everything. And at last, in a corner of the room, Superman's eye falls on a small object.
Hello, what's this? A button torn from an overcoat. Wonder if this could be of any help. There's the maker's name on the back of the button in tiny gold print. Leatherers Limited. The name of the shop where the overcoat was bought. Pretty ritzy shop. Well, that narrows the search down somewhat. Now to get to Letterers for information on all customers who bought overcoats there in the last year. Out through that smashed door. Now, up, and away!
As Superman heads toward the expensive clothing shop of Letterers Limited, the Vulture himself is busy. He, too, has lost no time. And in his lavish penthouse apartment, a scene is taking place which may have a far-reaching effect on the American war effort. Listen.
Mr. Commuter?
Oh? You are the Vulture?
Yes. Sit down. These gentlemen with you, I take it, are trustworthy?
Both gentlemen are honorable and trusted Japanese agents.
Good. If you can offer me the price I want for the model of the mechanical man, you will pay cash on the line. That understood?
It is understood. I have brought check for $500,000.
A check won't do. You may be honorable and trustworthy, but I want cash.
You have no objection to selling this modern wonder to the Japanese government?
I object to nothing that will bring me money. I have no feeling of patriotism.
We have not even seen this mechanical man you speak of.
It is here on this table. Come, I'll show it to you. Now, I'll just remove this cloth from it. There.
Magnificent.
You appreciate it, I see.
A man made of metal and only a foot high. This is the model.
Yes.
Perform it for me.
Certainly. Well, the mechanism is warming up. Let me remind you that this is no ordinary robot. This mechanical man can see, talk, walk, and actually think for himself.
Amazing. I do not understand how.
Nor do I. But no more complicated, perhaps, to a scientific mind than our own telephone dialing system. It is simple to the telephone company, most complicated to me.
With this mechanical man, Japan will have no trouble winning the war. What I would not give to see a legion of such mechanical men marching against American Marines in the South Pacific.
I don't care how you use it. All I ask is that you pay my price. Oh, now I see the eyes have lit up.
Oh, how they look. As if the little man were alive.
One might say that he is. But now, gentlemen, you shall see the most amazing thing of all. You shall see this model of the mechanical man in operation. Little Tin Man, I command you to walk. You see? He is walking across the table.
Stop him. He reaches the edge of the table. He fall off.
No, he won't fall off. See, he has stopped of his own accord.
It thinks for itself. It is miraculous.
Miraculous, perhaps. Science, after all, is a miracle in itself. This model of the mechanical man is nothing more than a scientific achievement of the highest caliber. All right, Little Tin Man. Walk to a safe spot, then stop.
Very interesting. What else will I do?
Anything it is commanded to do. However, gentlemen, it is finished performing until I see the color of your money.
Yes, let us discuss that. This check I have here is...
We will not discuss that check, Commodore. My price is $500,000 in cash. And no tricks, gentlemen. I see you reaching for what is probably a revolver, Commodore. Let me warn you, that door you came through to enter this room is made of steel. The door and the windows of this room are electrically wired on a high-tension circuit. It will do you no good to kill me and try to make off with the model, since you cannot leave this sealed room without my say-so.
It's no honor among thieves, as saying goes. You wrong me. Komura has no intention of doing harm. Komura merely wishes to secure mechanical man. Your price of $500,000 in cash. So?
That's right.
It is a great deal of money, but I believe I can secure this money within the hour. You will wait? You will not sell model to another bidder?
No. That I promise you.
Then Komura return within the hour. It is now 5 o'clock. I will be here again at 6 or before, at which time the mechanical man will become the property of the Imperial Japanese government.
If Komura can secure the cash and take possession of Dr. Cameron's mechanical man model within the hour, it'll mean much trouble for the United Nations fighting forces. In just a moment, we'll return to the adventures of Superman. But right now, here is another important message for you.
Say, gang, I'll bet you're as interested in good things to eat as I am, aren't you? So let me tell you about a neat discovery I made at breakfast time the other day. Instead of using plain white sugar on my bowl of Kellogg's Pep, I tried sprinkling it with brown sugar. And, man alive, what a difference that made. There's something about the combination of those crisp golden sweet-as-a-nut flakes with the tempting flavor of moist brown sugar, all topped off with plenty of good whole milk, that makes a really A1 breakfast treat. And what's more, gang, Pep is mighty good for you, as well as doggone good eating. So if you somehow missed out on this grand breakfast cereal, my advice to you is don't put it off any longer. Ask your mother right now to put down Kellogg's Pep on her shopping list for tomorrow. And remember now...
Pep, Pep, get in step. Make your cereal Kellogg's Pep.
And now back to Superman. While the Vulture is making a deal with a representative of the Japanese government, Superman is desperately trying to locate the man who masqueraded as Clark Kent. With only an hour in which to locate the Vulture, will Superman be in time to prevent the model of the mechanical man from getting into the hands of the Japanese? Well, don't miss tomorrow's thrilling episode. And be with us every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, for the exciting adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to reach tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Follow the adventures of Superman every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Superman is directed by George Lothar and is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. From every corner of Space Academy, spilling out of dormitories, tumbling from jet cars, jumping from slidewalks, hundreds of cadets race across the grassy quadrangle and crowd into the administration building to hear the results of rigid midterm examinations. As the voice of the officer of the day crackles harshly over the loudspeaker, Tom Corbett and Roger Manning wait anxiously with the other cadets. Breathing a prayer, their names will be among those who pass, for failure means dismissal from Space Academy.
Congratulations, Tom. You made it.
Thanks, Roger. I'd rather take acceleration from maximum rocket drive than sweat out that list.
Same here. Only one thing I'm worried about.
What's that?
That last power drive problem. I don't think I answered it the right way.
Hey, hold it, Roger. It's getting to the end.
Larkin, Macchio, Malov, Mayfield, McCleary, Muller.
Hey, Roger, she didn't call your name. That's it, Space Boy. I failed.
Oh, no. There must be some mistake, Roger.
No mistake. You know as well as I do. You're either on that list or you're not. I'm getting out of this uniform before I'm arrested for impersonating a space cadet.
And permission is hereby granted to Jonas Brady and Andrew Peters for exploration of secondary satellites of Jupiter's moons. Object of exploration, uranium pitchblende deposits. Permit for the above, LC 98452, dated 1 April 2352. Signed, Stephen Strong, Captain, Solar Guard. All right, I think that'll cover you, Brady. I'll put the Solar Guard seal on it now.
Say, I don't suppose you could tell Peters and me where we could find a good astrogator.
I'm afraid not, Brady. Shouldn't be too hard to get one, though.
Oh, I'm sorry, Captain Strong. I didn't know you were busy.
Well, that's all right, Corbett. Come in. We finished our business. What is it?
Well, it's Roger, sir.
Again? Well, what happened this time?
He failed to pass midterm exams, sir.
Failed? Well, that's impossible. He can astrogate as well as I can.
Roger thinks it was the power deck problem he missed, and I was wondering if you could do something.
You know Academy rules as well as I do, Corbett. If Manning's failed, he'll be dismissed from the Academy. Nothing can be done about it.
Excuse me, Captain.
Oh, yes, Brady.
I just wanted to thank you again for your help. We'd like to blast off as soon as we can.
Oh, of course. Here's your permit. And spaceman's luck.
Thanks. We'll need it. Come on, Peters.
Right, Jonas. So long, Captain.
Goodbye. Now, Corbett, let's get to the whole story. Is Manning positive details is
Well, looks like we're set, Jonas.
Yeah. And did you hear about the kid getting kicked out of the academy?
I'm way ahead of you, Jonas. The best astrographer in the joint. He said kicked out. And we need an astrogator.
Wrong. Said the kid's name was Manning.
What are we waiting for? Let's find a kid named Manning.
Captain Strong here.
Captain, this is Tom Corbett.
Oh, I was just going to call you, Tom. I checked the results of the midterm exams, and there was good reason for Manning not being on the regular list. He didn't wait for the honor list to be announced.
Honor list?
That's right. I don't know how he did it, but he posted the third highest average in the academy.
Oh, great. That's just fine.
Well, you don't sound very happy about it.
I'm not, sir. Roger's gone.
What?
I just got back to the dormitory. Found his lockers empty, all his clothes gone.
Why, that hot-headed young idiot.
I called the main gate, and he was checked out 15 minutes ago. He took a jet cab to the city.
Well, you better jet right after him, Tom. Find him and bring him back, or he'll be in trouble.
But, sir, it really isn't his fault. He didn't know.
He shouldn't have gone off half-cocked like that. Now, if he isn't here by bed check tonight, he'll be court-martialed for being absent without leave. And then he really will be an ex-cadet.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by. Fellas and girls, listen to this exciting announcement. Starting now, right now, you'll find exciting cutouts on the back of each and every regular package of Kellogg's Pep. And what are these cutouts? Well, they're real, true-to-life photograph cutouts of all your favorite Space Cadets. Here's your chance to get a complete collection of Space Cadet pictures. There's a cutout of Dr. Dale, one of Tom Corbett, Astro, and Roger Manning, too. Here's Tom Corbett to tell you all about it.
That's the truth, Spaceman. Right now at your grocery store, there's a package of Kellogg's Pep just waiting for you. And on the back, you'll find a photograph cutout of one of your favorite Space Cadets. Cut them out and pin them on your wall. Or you can paste them on your school book. And if you haven't got a full set, you can trade your extras for the ones you haven't got. It's a swell collection. So start getting your photograph cutouts of the Space Cadets right now.
That's right, Spaceman. And remember, there's another exciting Space Cadet photograph cutout on the back of each and every regular-sized Kellogg's Pep package. So don't delay. Ask your mom to get the build-up wheat cereal. Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Believing he has failed the rigid midterm examinations, Cadet Roger Manning has left Space Academy and taken a job as astrogator with Jonas Brady and Andrew Peters, two space prospectors searching for vital uranium pitch blends. But back at Space Academy, Cadet Tom Corbett has decided to ask for an emergency leave to go in search of his friend Roger Manning.
All right, Corbett, I'll give you the leave, but I don't think it'll do any good to look for Manning. By now, he could be any place. Mars, Venus, right here on Earth.
I'll find him, Captain Strong. I'm sure Roger would do the same for me.
Yes, I guess he would. All right. Here you are, 5-day emergency pass.
Attention, emergency alert. By order of Commander Arkwright, all leaves are canceled and all cadet units and instructors are to report to the main assembly hall on the double.
All right, cadets, stand to. Commander Arkwright has placed me in command of this emergency, and I want your undivided attention. All of you are acquainted with the vital work of the Solar Alliance in mining uranium pitchblende on Pluto. Without N72C, the mining operations on Pluto would stop, and our supply of raw uranium pitchblende would be cut to a dangerously low level. We've just received a report from our refineries on Mars that every ounce of N720, a new chemical explosive, has been stolen, and it will take 2 years to replace it. Who stole it and how it was stolen is the work of the security division. Our job is to get it all back before it is broken down into small lots and sold on the black market. Now, Commander Arkwright has ordered every available ship into space. Each of you will be given a sector to patrol. Your orders are simple. Stop every ship in your sector and search it. Your objective, 217 boxes of N72C. Any questions? Very well, then blast off according to emergency plan. And spaceman's luck. Oh, Corbett.
Yes, Captain Strong.
You'll come with me aboard the rocket destroyer Galileo. We'll patrol sectors 6, 7, and 8 in the orbit of Jupiter.
Right, sir. But is the situation really that bad?
Corbett, if we don't find that explosive, our production of uranium will be so low, half of all the spaceships now in flight will have to be grounded.
Destroyer Squadron 9 will patrol Earth-Lunar space lanes, and Cruiser Group J will search the asteroid belt. Further assignments to follow. All ships are to be intercepted and searched for the missing N72C. Maintain standby watch of this frequency for orders from Central Spaceport Control. In transmission.
Boy, those poor jokers are really fusing their tubes about that stuff. Sure must be valuable. Well, none of my concern anymore.
You, Jonas? Jonas, ain't you?
No, it's Manning.
Huh? What are you doing here, kid?
Looking for you. Brady wants you.
All right, so you found me. Now beat it.
After I take a look at what's in that box.
No, stay away from there.
Why? I'm a partner, aren't I? I've got a right to see the supplies we're carrying. Say, wait a minute. Supplies, huh? This is N72C.
So what? We're prospectors, ain't we? We need explosives.
200 cases, pal? Cases that were stolen?
What do you mean, stolen?
Don't pull that innocent act on me. I just picked up a Solar Guard alert. They're looking for this stuff right now.
But they'll never find it, kid.
Brady.
I figured you were the type to get nosy, so I just put the ship on automatic pilot and came down to make sure Peters kept you out of here.
I couldn't keep him out, Jonas. You boys
Shut
right
up, Peters. You couldn't stop a space rat.
Huh?
I ought to beat your head off for letting him see this.
There's no way to talk to a
Shut
partner.
up, I said. All right, kid. So we got a full cargo of N720. What about it?
I'm resigning from this partnership right now.
I got news for you, Space Boy. You're not back in Space Academy playing one of your little games now. The only way to resign from this outfit is to take a walk out in space without a spacesuit.
We're closing in on the outer moons of Jupiter now, sir. You can see them on the radar scanner.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I hate to think what a time we'll have if they reach those planetoids without us knowing it.
Hey, look, sir. A spaceship heading right into the thickest part of Jupiter's space junk.
Yes. And from the looks of her on the radar scanner, she's an old Venusian colonizer. All right, Tom. Stand by to intercept. Maybe this time we'll be lucky.
Well, Hotshot, that destroyer's closing in.
Space Raider from Rocket Cruiser Galileo. This is Captain Strong of the Solar Guard.
Captain Strong.
Gate 2 and stand by for boarding party.
Well, Brady, what are you going to do now?
I said it. Keep him covered.
What are you going to do?
Never mind. Keep him covered, I said.
All right, Jonas. All right.
Hello. Rocket Destroyer Galileo from Space Raider Jenny Alton. This is Jonas Brady speaking. Go ahead.
Gate 2, Brady. We're coming aboard.
Coming aboard? Why? Anything wrong?
We just want to check your cargo. If everything's all right, you'll be cleared to go on.
I see. Well, I tell you, Captain, our main airlock mechanism...
He's lying, Captain Strong. There's nothing wrong with the airlock.
What was that, Brady?
Why, that was just my astrogator telling me something. By the way, I think you know him, Captain. He used to be a cadet, fellow by the name of Manning.
Manning? What blazes is he doing on your ship?
Oh, he signed on just before we blasted off. He likes the idea of prospecting with us. Figures in making a pile of money.
He does he? Well, let me talk to him.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, Manning, come here.
Jonas, are you space happy?
Shut up. I know what I'm doing. Why, I'm sorry, Captain. He says he don't want to talk to you.
Well, listen, Brady. I want to search your ship. If we can't couple our airlocks together, we'll just have to board you in space.
No, don't do that, Captain. I tell you what, we ain't far from Jupiter. Now, suppose I touch down and you trail me in. Make it a lot easier. You can board me on the ground through the emergency power deck hatch.
Get going, then. Change course.
Right away, Captain. You just follow me down, and I'll wait for you. And transmission. That was easier than I thought.
Jonas, you must have been drinking rocket juice. You're taking us right into a trap.
I don't know why I got hooked up with a whining fool like you, Peters. I got Strong doing exactly what I want.
Oh, you have, huh? Well, as soon as he comes aboard, he'll find all them boxes of N72C, and that's what he wants.
Of course not. Now, you get to work right now and start loading the jet boat.
The jet boat? But...
No questions, Peters. Move.
Wait a minute. What about this kid? You talk.
Oh, no, you won't. After you're through loading the explosives, break out 2 spacesuits. Just 2. When Captain Strong comes aboard the Jenny Alden, he's going to find 1 empty spaceship and 1 dead body.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
This is Venus Space Station. Calling Space Academy Commissary. Request increased ration, Kellogg's Pep. Request increased ration, Kellogg's Pep. This is Solar Guard Station Titan. Calling Space Academy Commissary. Include double ration, Kellogg's Pep in next shipment. Demand for Kellogg's Pep increasing every month. This is Comet Watch Patrol Ship number 4, calling Space Academy Commissary. Hey, what do you say, fellas? Let's have some pep, huh? Send up some Kellogg's Pep.
Well, that's the story down at the Space Academy Commissary. The calls are coming in from every space station in the solar system. More Kellogg's Pep, more Kellogg's Pep. Well, you spacemen know why, too. Every time you help yourself to that swell whole wheat and malt flavor, well, you can tell right off why Kellogg's Pep is making such a big hit with spacemen. And say, Kellogg's Pep helps the solar guardsman keep in trim by supplying him with vitamin D, vitamin B1, and many other essential food values to help him stay on the job. So give yourself the same energy blast off every morning with Kellogg's Pep. And remember, to get your pep, well, you don't have to call the Space Academy Commissary. The corner grocery store is your commissary for the Spaceman cereal Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Tricking Captain Strong into landing on Jupiter, Jonas Brady has begun a desperate plan to save his stolen cargo of valuable explosive and get rid of Roger Manning. Now on the deserted wastes of Jupiter, where the gravity is 2.5 times that of Earth, Tom Corbett and Captain Strong leave the rocket prospector Galileo and in spacesuits and helmets struggle toward the Jenny Alden, partially hidden by a huge rock formation. A walk that will bring them face to face with death.
I'll never get used to Jupiter, Captain Strong. I don't know which is worse, the double gravity or all the quakes.
I know, Tom. This double gravity makes it feel like you're carrying 400 pounds on your back. Be careful and don't fall. You'll never pick yourself up.
Why did Brady land in that valley? He must have known we couldn't come in alongside.
Yeah, this whole setup is pretty fishy. I can't understand why Roger didn't want to talk to us. If he ever talked his way out of anything, it had better be now.
All set, Jonas. The N72C is loaded in the jet boat, and I've got the 2 spacesuits.
Okay, Peters. I just saw Strong leave the destroyer with another guy and head this way.
I'm getting nervous, Jonas. What if they catch us?
You know something, Peters? I think you're a yeller. Our little space cadet has got more guts than you.
You got no right to talk to me that way. Hey, Jonas, it's an earthquake. Hang on.
Just what I was hoping for.
What?
I spent 2 years prospecting this crummy planet right around here. Every 5 or 6 hours there's a quake. That ought to hold Captain Strong for a while. Now, get Manning out here in the jet boat lock. We're ready to move.
Wait a minute, Jonas. I've been thinking.
Stealing is one thing. If you're caught, you get time on the prison asteroid. But killing, that's something else again.
Hey, wait a minute. What is this?
I don't like it. I don't want no part of it.
Why, you crummy little space rat.
Let's just blast off in the jet boat and leave the kid here. Won't do us no real good to kill him.
I'm giving the orders around here, and I say get the kid.
But, Jonas...
Get him right now.
All right, Jonas. You win.
You bet I win, you little space crawler. Try to chicken out on me, will you?
All right, Manny. Come on out.
You guys sure picked yourself a nice graveyard to land in.
You're using the right word, kid. Move.
Well, Brady, where do you expect to go from here?
A long way, kid. Peters, you have his power, Ray?
Yeah, sure.
Hand it over.
Okay.
What do you think you're going to do now?
Kind of impatient, ain't you?
Come on, Jonas. Let's get this over with.
Sure, Peters, if you're glad to. All right, Manning, stand over there next to them spacesuits.
Hey, now, listen, wait a minute.
Watch, kids. Watch.
Captain Strong, the quake's getting worse. We got to get to the Alden.
Just another 100 yards, Corbett. We can make it.
Captain, look. A jet boat. It just blasted out of the freighter.
Blast them. They pulled a fat one on us. Hurry, Corbett. And pray they've left Roger alive. Captain Strong to Rocket Destroyer Squadron B, cover sectors 7, 8, and 9, Jupiter orbit. Intercept jet boat believed to be carrying stolen explosives. That is all.
Captain Strong. Captain, come here, quick.
Yes, Corbett, where are you?
Down here, sir, in the jet boat airlock.
What is it?
There, sir. Look.
By the rings of Saturn. Peters.
Yes, sir. Blasted by a parallel ray and left in the open airlock. He didn't have a chance. And look here, sir. These small chips that look like putty.
Well, that's M72C. That nails it. They did steal the explosive and escaped with it in the jet boat.
But where's Roger, sir?
That's what I'd like to know. I'd be interested in finding out how he's tied up with this operation.
But, sir, you don't think...
Wait a minute. Look at this.
A parallel ray. And it's Academy issue.
Not only that. Look at the name on the grip.
Roger.
There's been one shot fired. Probably the one that got Peters.
Well, then that explains it. Roger was trying to fight them.
He was? Well, then why isn't he here now? No, Tom, it looks to me like poor Peters was the victim of a double cross.
What?
And with the way Roger felt about the Academy, and the fact that he isn't here now, and the fact that he sailed on a ship with stolen cargo...
Oh, he wouldn't. He couldn't do a thing like that.
I'm just pointing out. When we find Roger, I certainly hope he can prove I'm wrong.
He must be able to prove it, sir. And if I have to go clear out to the next galaxy, I'll find him and make him prove it. So help me, I will.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, when Tom and Captain Strong become space rats to follow a trail that leads them from the moons of Jupiter to the underworld of Venus in Part 2 of Double Cross in Space. Tune in, same time, same station on Thursday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the Build-Up Wheat Cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast are Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, Paul Ford, and Ian Martin. Today's program was written by Richard Jessup, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a...
If you really want to know what happened, Inspector, ask Toby. Yes, Toby, who is only a ventriloquist dummy, but who knows more than you think. If you want to hang me, let him be a witness.
Out of this world. Columbia's parade of outstanding stories of those moments when reality turns to illusion, when fancy becomes fact, sharp, shocking fact. Tonight, a remarkable adventure from the successful English motion picture Dead of Night. A story which for the next half hour will take you out of this world.
Stop! Stop! Here now, Tompkins, here now. Enough of that noise. You're disturbing all the other prisoners.
God, tell me, where's Toby? What have they done with me, Toby?
Ah, so it's Toby again, is it? Now stop all that fuss about the dummy. I won't ever afford any more noise in that solitary confinement for you.
But I must see Toby. Oh, God, I'll pay you anything if you bring Toby to me.
Ah, you ventriloquist, a queer one. All this fuss about a talking doll.
He's not a talking doll. Don't you understand? He's Toby. Where is he? What happened to him?
How should I know? Probably safe enough. The inspector will take care of him.
Well, you tell the inspector to send Toby back to me. Back to me, do you hear? Tell him I want Toby and I want him right now.
Sure. Inspector Dodds will be happy to do anything you say.
You're an impertinent fellow.
Yeah, you're a rough one, all right. You're just lucky I ain't in here for murder. Lucky that fella Leswell you shot is coming along, all right.
Leswell? Whatever happens to him makes no difference to me. I wish he was dead. He tried to steal Toby from me.
Now, ain't that a pretty thing to say? Ain't you a
charge? I'm sorry I caused you any trouble. All I want is one favor. Please. Go to the inspector, go to somebody, go to anybody and tell them that I've got to see Toby. I've got to see Toby.
Tompkins, Inspector. He's raising a devil of a row down in the cells. Keeps yelling he wants his dummy brought back to him.
I see. Well, if letting Tompkins have the dummy will keep him quiet, perhaps we can arrange it.
Oh, good heavens, sir. Is that him there, in the chair?
Huh? Oh, yes, that's Toby.
How cool. Sits up in the chair real lifelike, don't he, Inspector? Amazing, ain't it?
It's fantastic that a man could be attached to such a thing.
Queer how Tompkins keeps saying, if you want to know why he shot Laswell, ask the dummy. He's an odd one, all right. Imagine asking anything from the likes of this. Such a blank, idiotic little face he's got. Yeah. So you're Toby, are you? So it's you that's responsible for all the trouble I'm having with your master today. Poor Mr. Tompkins. If I wasn't a mild man, I'd change that smelly smirk on your face. I'd give you a real sad look, I would.
All right, now hold on there. Do you think that stick of wood will answer you?
Eh? Oh.
You know very well only a ventriloquist can make a dummy talk.
Now, sorry, sir. I guess I did look a bit foolish.
Yes, so before we all do, we'd better get to the bottom of this. God, bring Tompkins up here. Time we had a little talk. Tompkins, if I promise that Toby will soon be returned to you, will you cooperate with me?
Toby? Is he here? Is he near me here?
Yes, but you can't see him yet.
But I must see him, Inspector.
You will, but not before I have certain facts.
Certain facts?
about your quarrel with Nell Laswell. Now, if you tell me the whole story, I may be able to help you.
Help me? Why? Why should the police help me?
Because it's part of my job.
Yes, but you've done your job. I've admitted I shot Laswell. I did it. What else matters?
Your motive.
He tried to steal Toby from me. Isn't that motive enough?
Tompkins, I really can't understand you.
Understand? Of course you can't understand. I wouldn't expect you to. You've never spent years, endless years, playing shoddy, cheap music halls, starving out at the elbow because you couldn't find a partner who understood you. You never toiled day and night for weeks on end, creating somebody like Toby who could go to the big time with you. Oh, Toby could tell you what it's been like, all right.
Unfortunately, Tompkins, Toby has shown no inclination to speak to me as yet.
Toby would appreciate that, exactly. Yes, indeed he would. Really, what have you done with him?
You must be him soon enough, I promise you. But first, I want to know what makes you think Nell Laswell tried to steal Toby.
Oh, I was aware of Laswell's intentions right from the start, Inspector. Even before I met him. I had a premonition that somebody might separate me from Toby. I couldn't stand that. I'm as much to him, yes. He to me.
I see, yes.
When I met Laswell at the club that night, I realized almost at once that he might be the one who caused the trouble. I suppose you see, Laswell, you know the sort he is. Regular troublemaker.
Yes, Tompkins, I've seen him. Now come to the point.
Well, as I intimated before, Toby and I have been playing all the better music hall in the last few years. Top billing, you know. And then we got our engagement at the Kit Kat, West End nightclub. That's about as high as Toby and I, or any act for that matter, can go. We were standing backstage, waiting for the dark act to finish their turn. It's only a standard act, not particularly hard for us to follow. And then Bigelow, the master of ceremonies, came along.
Glad to see you ready to go, Tompkins. You're on as soon as they finish the waltz.
We know our act, Mr. Bigelow.
Well, just so you know yours as well.
Not Toby.
Well, I don't want him to forget to take the chair out tonight.
I have the chair right here. Now, don't worry. It won't happen like it did last night.
And do us the favor of getting off the floor when you've introduced us. You messed up the whole first part of our act standing behind us.
Here, now, don't say that. After all, it was your opening night, and how was I to know your act?
You did it deliberately. You were trying to cut in on our laughs.
Now, look here. I don't have to take this kind of stuff.
Toby, that was not at all professional. Mr. Bigelow, I apologize, since Toby doesn't seem to have the grace to do it.
Very well, I accept it. Eh? Well, well, now, what do you think of that? Husband, you take me in Tompkins. Deuce if I don't get to thinking that dummy is a living thing.
Bigelow is a terrible ass, isn't he, Tompkins?
By Joe, it's remarkable. Tremendously real, you know, the illusion.
Oh, right.
Oh, by the way, you'll want to be particularly good this evening. You have a rival out there.
Hmm? Who?
Laswell. Nell Laswell, the American. The ventriloquist from the States.
Laswell?
Oh, don't tell me you haven't heard him on the wireless. Here, look. Have a look. He's at the front table over to the left.
Oh, yes. Yes, I see him.
And who's the gorgeous young lady?
His wife. He's awfully good. World's greatest ventriloquist, I've heard say.
I like her.
Don't you recognize pretense, Bigelow? He may be the best, and again, he may not be the best.
And you're pretty jealous, aren't you, Tompkins?
I'm nothing of the sort.
In fact, you'll feel more uncomfortable than ever tonight working in front of a real artist.
Now, see here, Toby.
But as usual, I'll carry you along.
You'll carry me. I'll have you know I carry this out.
Please, both of you.
Stay out of this, fat mouth.
Now, see here, joke's a joke, but when you used to... By George, you took me up the road again, Tompkins. I thought you and this wooden imp were rowing. As though he were human. Imagine me thinking he's actually human.
Stop clattering, rubber. Let's get out there and bring us on.
Yes, of course.
And don't forget the check.
Wait. Oh, here it is. Look, I'm going to introduce Laswell before I bring you up.
Must you?
That's right. Give the boy and girl a great big hand behind the dance scene in all the United Kingdom. And now, ladies and gentlemen, and visiting royalty, before I present to you our next little feature, I'd like to call on a distinguished variety artist who is here tonight. You've all heard him on the American wireless. I've seen him in the American cinema. Mel Laswell. I asked Mel Laswell to stand up and enjoy that well-known tic-tac hospitality. I'm sure that beautiful woman he's with is a much happier burden on his knee than Mickey O'Toole, whom you've seen so many times. Stand up, Melvin Laswell. And now I want to bring on an act, the like of which Mr. Laswell has never seen. Our own British ventriloquist, Eric Thompson, and his talking timber, Toby.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hey, Thompson, go easy on that morning stuff.
How come, Toby?
Well, that man over there looks like the truant officer.
Why, that shouldn't bother you, Toby. You've been a very good boy, haven't you?
Why, yes, but I'm out of school.
Out of school? Why?
Appendicitis.
Out of school because you have appendicitis?
No, not because I had it, but because I couldn't spell it.
Now, Toby, my lad, you better watch that appendix of yours. After all, people die of appendicitis, you know. And then you'll be a skeleton. I'll bet you don't even know what a skeleton is.
Get a good grip on your nose, darling. That guy's got the worst material in the British Isles.
No, what a skeleton is.
I feel so you're enjoying this. People are watching
Well,
you.
then, what is a skeleton?
A skeleton is a lot of bones with all the people scraped off.
You know, Toby, I saw a very strange thing the other day. Toby, are you listening to me? I said I saw a very strange thing the other day.
All right, you saw a very strange thing the other day.
I don't blame the dummy
Go
for being
on,
embarrassed.
my master.
Now, here, Toby, that's not the proper attitude for a bright lad like you. I said I saw a strange thing the other day. There were 12 men standing under one umbrella, and not one of them got wet.
And not one of them got wet. Now, I know the payoff to this game, but I won't say. And Mr. Laswell knows too, don't you, Mr. Laswell?
What goes on here now?
Come now, Mr. Laswell, I know you do. You give the answer.
Toby,
Please, darling, this is embarrassing.
Well,
Say
Mr.
something.
Laswell,
If this guy keeps riding me, I will get him
this
put back.
dummy's dummy says that he saw 12 men under one umbrella and not one of them got wet. Why not, Mr. Laswell?
Because it wasn't raining.
Correct, because it wasn't raining. Now, you see, Thompson, everybody knows your joke. I'm humiliated, actually humiliated to be up here with a third-rate ventriloquist like you.
Well, if you don't like your material, why don't you try rewriting it?
Rewrite it? Did you ever hear of anybody going into St. Paul's and offering to rewrite the Bible?
Then just what do you propose to do about it?
I'd go to work for Mr. Laswell in a minute if he'd have me. Melvin, may I work for you?
No, let's go.
Wait, Claudia.
May I, Mr. Laswell?
Well, I pay Mickey O'Toole 75 cents a week. He'll wind up in my fireplace and you'll work for 50.
I work for nothing. Just a beautiful woman beside you.
The Laswell wife.
I don't care. I mean it. Ladies and gentlemen, you think this is part of the act, but it isn't. I think that Mr. Laswell is the greatest ventriloquist in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please don't blame me for this. It's Laswell. He's speaking all this through Toby. He's trying to steal Toby away from me.
Mel, is that true? Do you have something to do with it?
Relax, honey. Get the rest of this routine.
I'm being quite sincere, Mr. Laswell. I'll work for you and you won't have to say me a tuppence.
Mel, are you speaking through Toby?
Well, Mr. Laswell, will you take me on?
Watch him try to get out of this one, Claudia. I'm thinking about it, Toby.
Oh, Mel.
Toby, either you behave yourself or I'll take you off the floor.
That's right. Just when I'm about to get a good job, call the MC back, tell him you want to run away and hide. Come on out, Bigelow. Thompson needs your help.
All right. Just as you say, Thompson. That's all, and thank you for this little impromptu surprise.
Oh, brother, it's about time the MC took
It's
over.
all part of the show, friends. All part of it.
Oh, hey, Bigelow.
I give him a nice heading. Give him the best of
That's how I knew, Inspector, that Laswell had taken more than casual notice of Toby. Oh, I could have forgiven him for his interference on the floor of the club. That might have been mere professional discourtesy. But there was something else in Laswell's attitude that made me fear the man. It was his personal interest in Toby. Now, he wanted to separate us. I became certain of this later when he came back to my dressing room pretending friendliness.
Anyone in there?
Who is it?
No, Laswell, Tompkins.
Mr. Laswell. Well?
Oh, how do you do? You mind if we come in for a moment?
All right. Please do.
This is my wife, Miss Tompkins.
Mrs. Laswell.
Mr. Tompkins?
Won't you sit down? Throw those dressing gowns on the floor.
Thank you.
Well, so this is your boy. Nice carving job.
I'm very handsome. Don't you think so, Mrs. Laswell?
Well, you certainly are, Toby.
Tompkins, I've been curious to know who made him for you.
Don't put your hands on him.
Oh, well,
I prefer that you let Toby alone.
Well, certainly you needn't worry. I'm quite handy with dummies myself. You certainly surprised me with that little act out front.
Your own part in it surprised me, Mr. Laswell.
Oh, believe me, Tompkins, I never intended anything.
You'll see, Mr. Laswell, Tompkins' attitude requires some sympathy. He's quite aware he's not our equal.
Keep quiet, Toby.
Tompkins, how far does this gag go?
That depends on you, Mr. Laswell, and on just why you came to my dressing room.
Oh, only professional courtesy.
If you've come to make some sort of a bargain for Toby, I am not going to permit it.
Now, wait, Mr. Tompkins.
I will not have it.
Yes, wait, Tompkins.
I will not permit it.
Whatever the Laswells have to say to me is my affair. You might even pretend you're a gentleman and make a grateful expert.
Toby, if you're trying to make me look ridiculous...
I'm succeeding. Yes, I know. Now go on over behind the screen and get your makeup off.
Very well, Toby, but I warn you...
Beat it! Pay no attention to him, Mrs. Laswell. I don't.
Well, I don't understand.
This fellow's amazing.
Not at all. He's stupid, really. Constantly interfering in my affairs. Mrs. Laswell, now that we're alone, may I tell you something? Something I'm sure you've heard before.
What is it, Toby?
That you're very beautiful. That I'm very fond of you, Mrs. Laswell.
Oh, now, look here.
And whatever Tompkins thinks, Mrs. Laswell, you're really a very nice woman.
Well, I'll be...
No, I don't like this.
Tompkins.
Yes?
Come out here.
Well? What is it?
How far do you want to carry a joke?
A joke?
Either you apologize to Mrs. Laswell...
Apologize?
Right
For what?
for the last crack you just made through Toby.
Did I?
Listen, you...
Really, Mr. Laswell, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mel, darling, let's get out of here.
You're not going to leave me, are you, Mr. Laswell? Please don't.
You're an awfully funny fellow, Tompkins.
Don't blame me for all this.
Take me with you, Mr. Laswell. I just want to be near her. If you're afraid I'll make love to her, you needn't worry. I wouldn't.
Tompkins, this is the most disgraceful demonstration I've ever heard.
What can I do about him?
Mel, please, come on.
I love her. I'll do anything if you'll just let me go with you, Mr. Laswell. Anything.
All right, Tompkins, you asked for it.
Oh, no, don't hit it. Don't hit it. Oh, Mel, why did you do it? The man's not natural.
What's going on? I don't know what's eating that fellow. Rib's a rib, but he doesn't know where to stop. I guess he got the last laugh on me, making me lose my temper.
Well, he doesn't seem to be doing much laughing.
He's all right?
It's a bit done in. Can't say he didn't have it coming, though.
Oh, darling, I'm glad he didn't break the dummy when he fell.
And you do care what happens to me. I love you, Mrs. Laswell.
So you see, Inspector, I should have known then that I couldn't prevent Laswell getting Toby. I knew they'd be plotting, the two of them.
I see. One question, Mr. Tompkins.
Yes.
Would you say that Mrs. Laswell is an exceptionally attractive woman?
To some men, perhaps.
And since we know that you think and speak through the dummy, isn't it just possible that you may yourself find Mrs. Laswell appealing?
Oh, what is this rubbish you're talking? Are you interested in learning the truth of what happened, or are you trying to muzzle me up?
I'd like to hear the matter out, Mr. Tompkins.
Sorry. As you well know, I was sacked by the Kit Kat on the spot. I hardly spoke to Toby all the way home. I wanted to impress upon him the misfortune he'd caused us. But first, I hoped that Toby's attention to Mrs. Laswell had embarrassed them both so much that Laswell would no longer feel any interest in him. But in my heart, I knew the Laswells hadn't finished, that at that very moment they must have been plotting. Plotting their next move to get Toby away from me. I'll tell you what that next move was. In our hotel, I carefully turned the key in the lock. Toby and I were secured for the night. I put him in his own little bed and then made ready for bed myself. As I moved around the room, his eyes followed me scornfully. Then I thought of the revolver in my bag. I took it up. With the revolver in my right hand and the key in my left, I lay down on the bed and waited. I dozed off. I don't know for how long. Suddenly I was awake, my eyes staring. Toby was gone.
What is it?
Laswell, I want to talk to you.
No, be careful. It's Tompkins. The door is locked.
Where is Toby?
Get out, Tompkins.
Now come to Toby. Where is he? You've stolen Toby from me and I want him back.
I don't know what you're talking about, but if you're referring to your dummy, I haven't seen him. Now, get out.
No.
What's wrong, dear?
On the floor. On the floor at the foot of my bed.
Toby. Toby, there you are. I found you. Oh, my poor little Toby, you've been kidnapped.
Look, Tompkins, I don't know how your dummy got here.
Toby. Toby, speak to me. Wake up, Toby.
Look, Mel. Look how he's shaking that awful thing as though he's trying to waken.
Oh, you're not deceiving me, Toby. You know very well I'm here.
Go away and leave me alone. I'm through with you, Tompkins.
Oh, yes.
Take it easy, Claudia. We've had all we can take of this, Tompkins.
Are you going to deny you stole Toby from me?
I certainly am. Look here, man. You're mad. You're ill.
Ill, am I? You took Toby from me and you say I'm ill?
I didn't take Toby. You brought the dummy here. You must have brought it here. Well, maybe while you were walking in your sleep, but you brought it here. I'm going to prove it.
Stay away from the phone.
Now he has a gun.
You can shoot if you like, but I'm going to prove to you that... Hello. Hello, give me the desk clerk, please.
Tompkins, I won't go with you. I'm going to stay with her forever. If Mr. Laswell will let me.
Clerk, this is Mr. Laswell in 722. I want to know if someone came to my room a few hours ago.
Is this some sort of trick?
A man came, you say, and he was carrying a ventriloquist dummy. You let him come up. Did you hear that, Tompkins?
I'm not deceived by this.
Will you describe the man for me, please?
No, you're a devil, Laswell. You stole Toby from me, now you're trying to drive me mad.
Well, here, take the phone.
No, I won't take it. You're tricking me again.
Don't be careful.
Well, you won't succeed this time. No, I don't deny that I shot Laswell, Inspector, but I believe the provocation was ample. I dare say you'll agree. After all, Laswell turned a friend against me. An old and a very valued friend. Whom I miss very much.
Tompkins, in due time, I may ask you to sign a formal confession on the basis of the story you've just told me.
No objection. I'll sign it. Oh, by the way, Inspector, I wonder if now you might let me see Toby again.
Well, I'd like to oblige you, but...
It's only for a short while, sir. I felt rather badly about not seeing him, especially after our trouble. And if we're given a little time together, perhaps Toby and I could straighten out our affairs.
Well, if you like, I think I can manage with... Perhaps have him brought down to your cell.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing Toby again. I am indeed.
And that's the story as Tompkins told it to me, Mr. Laswell.
It's incredible. I had some idea what was going on in the fellow's mind, but that is...
Mel, I'm so sorry for it.
Just one question, Mr. Laswell. You'll pardon my asking.
Yes?
Did you have anything to do with what's happened to the Kit Kat? I mean, you didn't project your voice through Toby.
Certainly not.
So I thought. This business has me baffled. If I thought Tompkins might be more dangerous than he's already proved...
Well, I'm afraid there is that possibility, Inspector.
Huh?
It may be that Tompkins has become so accustomed to thinking as two persons that the personalities have actually become divided.
Is that possible?
For one man to have two separate and distinct personalities? Yes, that's not rare. Well, I'll admit I've never heard of anything exactly like this business.
What will happen to him now?
It's a battle that Tompkins will have to fight out within himself. As long as he's in that cell without the dummy, he may learn to think for himself as himself again.
Good heavens, man. Look here, I permitted that dummy to be taken to the Tompkins in his cell.
You what?
Tompkins was so keen on having a dummy with him that
Do you think that will harm him?
Well, I don't know, but...
Inspector,
All right, here I am.
It's that Tompkins, sir. Sharon knows something awful in this cell.
What's happened?
We put the big doll in with him, like you said, sir, and right off he began arguing with it, carrying on a fight, real lifelike. It's just like two people what hate each other.
Well, Laswell, you were right. Come on, we'd better get to them before it's too late.
Well, all I can say is I knew you'd wind up this way sometime. Put away for keeps a jailbird.
Oh, Toby, I can't stand you having to talk to me that way. How can you be so ungrateful? I made you everything you are.
Ha! You made me, did you? You were the smallest of the small till I teamed with you.
Have you forgotten that once you were an empty, lifeless stick of wood?
Oh, come off it, Tompkins. You're a regular slush pot of sentimentality.
Please, be a little kind to me.
Get away from me. I can't stand the beggar. Why should I have anything to do with you? You've never done anything right. You couldn't even kill Lazarus.
Shut up, Toby. Shut up. Don't torture me.
I wish you had killed him, and his wife would belong to me. I could be with her forever.
Oh, you fool. Don't you know that's impossible?
You're just saying that you're jealous because I love her.
Oh, no, I can't stand it. You're a monster. I've got to get rid of you. I've got to kill you, destroy you.
Tompkins, take your hands off me. I'm through with you. Take your hands off.
No. Kill you, you vulgar little swine. Get a little swine. You beast. Dirty beast, you star. Now talk back to me, you little monster. Now tell me I failed at everything. I'm smashed your face.
You can't kill me, Tompkins. No matter how you try, you can't kill me.
Come on. Toby, what have I done? Toby, I never meant.
Down this way. There we are.
No, he smashed the dummy.
Steady, Claudia.
Oh, it isn't real. It can't be.
We didn't reach him in time.
He seems to have fainted.
I guess we better see what we can do for the poor devil.
Certainly made a pile of kindling out of his dummy, didn't he?
Oh, Mel, what'll it do to him when he sees what he's done to Toby?
How is he, Inspector?
He's coming around all right. Tompkins, come out of it, fellow. Everything's going to be all right.
He's reviving. He's opening his eyes.
Come on now, I'll help you sit up. That's a fellow. Feeling a little better now, aren't we?
It's dark. He's looking around for the dummy.
Here we are, Tompkins. I guess this is what you're looking for. Your tummy's broken up a bit, but he'll be all right.
He said he'd kill me, but I told him he couldn't. I killed him. Isn't that wonderful, Mrs. Lazarus? Tompkins is dead. Now we can be together forever, the three of us. You want me, don't you, Mrs. Laswell? You've got to want me because I think you're beautiful. And I love you, and I'll be your slave always, always.
For the past 30 minutes, CBS has presented Out of This World, bringing you Charles Gusman's adaptation of the motion picture Dead of Night. Barry Kroger was featured as Tompkins and Art Carney as Toby. Original music by Albert Berman.
Salt of This World is directed by John Mosman for CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are investigating a space factory revolving in an orbit around the planet Venus. Suddenly, they find themselves locked in a freight-handling chamber floating in the middle of the room.
They've cut the artificial gravity field. We're completely weightless. How are we going to get down to the floor? Oh, my head. Smoking rockets, Commander. We were pulled up to the ceiling. There's the floor down there below us. They reversed the gravity field. The pull in this room is toward the ceiling.
Well, now how are we going to get down to the floor?
We'll get down to it all right, the hard way, I'm afraid. They'll reverse the gravity field from floor to ceiling till they break every bone in our bodies.
We'll return in just a moment with today's Space Patrol adventure, the Venus Space Factory. Hi, gang. Space Patroller Dick Tufeld reporting to you from the Terra Airport. Just got back from a trip to Venus, and boy, do I need supercharging. Well, I'll just have myself a Space Patrol breakfast with one of the super cereals, Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. They're bite-sized, you know, and so easy to eat and so different and delicious, the Commander made them official cereals of the Space Patrol. Try them yourself, gang, and don't wait. Not for a swell treat like Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. Try them today. And say, gang, here's something important. We are swamped with orders for space binoculars. We have plenty of them, but we just can't mail them out fast enough. So if you're waiting for space binoculars, please be patient. We'll soon be caught up. Well, I got to go get supercharged right now. See you later, gang. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, the Venus Space Factory. Swinging in wide orbits around the planet Venus are two gigantic constructions, popularly known as space factories. Power is obtained from the sun by use of solar energy reflectors. These privately owned factories are inspected at regular intervals by Space Patrol personnel to see that United Planets regulations are observed. Right now, in the control section office of one of the factories, Space Patrol Inspector Curtis is talking to Vincent Trowbridge, owner of the plant.
I've completed the inspection, Mr. Trowbridge.
Find anything wrong, Inspector Curtis?
No, nothing serious. The heat insulation on the mercury vapor conduits needs replacing.
You aren't going to enter that on the report, are you?
No, I should. But I'll overlook it this time if you promise to have it repaired by the time of my next official visit here.
Of course. You just play ball with me, Curtis, and I'll play ball with you.
Fine. Oh, Mr. Trowbridge.
Yes, Curtis.
About the investment you're handling for me, is everything all right?
Well, it doesn't look good right now.
But can I get my 10,000 credits back?
Perhaps in a few months.
A few months? Well, Mr. Corbett, you said last month we could expect a quick profit.
Yes, I also said there were certain risks involved. You remember that, don't you?
But all our other investments, they turned out all right.
They were for small amounts, 100 credits or so.
I was counting on that money. You put me in a terrible spot.
I didn't put you on the spot, Curtis. You insisted I take your money. It was your money, wasn't it?
Well, of course it was, except for a few hundred I borrowed. But it has to be paid back right away.
Well, I'm afraid there's nothing I can do.
Look, you've got to help me. If the Space Patrol finds out I've been having business dealings with one of the firms I inspect, I'll lose my job.
Well, you didn't worry much about that when you were winning.
I was foolish, I admit it. But I was relying on your business judgment. This gets out. I'm finished.
Yeah. Perhaps I should have realized you weren't in a position to risk so much money. Tell you what. Suppose I return those 10,000 credits to you.
Will you, Mr. Trowbridge?
Now, understand, Curtis, I only do this out of the goodness of my heart. This is just a loan, you understand. It's my money you're getting. Your 10,000 is still invested with another firm, and I can't touch it.
I'll pay you back every credit when the other deal begins to pay off.
Yeah. Oh, in the meantime, you're in a position to do me a favor.
What do you have in mind?
Well, you also inspect the other space factory, don't you?
Stan Larkin's plant? Oh, yes, sir.
What's his record?
Excellent. Why?
Perhaps you've been somewhat lax in your inspection. Somewhat indulgent, shall we say.
Oh, no. I'm always very careful.
Yes, but there is always room for improvement, Curtis. From now on, you can even be more careful when you check on Larkin. When are you due there again?
2 days from now.
Well, just make sure you examine his entire factory thoroughly. I'm sure you'll be able to find that Larkin is guilty of several irregularities.
You aren't asking me to turn in a false report.
Would you rather a true one be turned in on you?
All right, Mr. Corbett.
Oh, this may ease your conscience a little. I have a couple of men working at Larkin's factory. You wouldn't have to use your imagination too much in this.
Commander Corey's office. Cadet Hattie here. Yes, sir. All right, Major, I'll tell him.
What does it happen?
Well, it's Major Robertson, Commander. He says Inspector Curtis is due back at Venus City headquarters tomorrow. He's been on sick leave.
Hap, remind me to spaceophone Curtis in the morning regarding the space factory report.
Yes, sir.
I can't understand what's happened to Stan Larkin's operation.
Who is this Larkin, sir?
He owns one of the 2 space factories circling Venus. The last 2 inspection reports have been pretty bad. Till 3 weeks ago, Larkin's plant had a very high rating.
What's the trouble, sir?
Curtis listed 6 counts of defective safety equipment, including the main airlock. When he returned for another checkup 2 weeks later, 3 of the previous citations hadn't been corrected.
What about the Trowbridge station?
Oh, that's excellent. You know, it looks to me as though Larkin's trying to cut corners.
It's not a very smart move with a new government contract still sitting on the Secretary General's desk.
It's not a smart move in any case, I think. Any negligence in one of those space factories could cost the life of every man in the plant. First, I'll see what Curtis has to say about the situation. Then I may pay Larkin a visit.
Curtis at Venus City calling Trowbridge at Space Factory number 2. Curtis calling Trowbridge at Space Factory number 2.
Trowbridge here. Go ahead, Curtis.
I just thought I would let you know. Corey's going to blast off for a visit to Larkin's factory.
Is he coming here, too?
He didn't mention it in our space one conversation. We better be prepared just in case he does.
I am always prepared. Did he question your report on Larkin?
No, not yet. But I'm worried. I don't want to get into this any deeper.
Now, look, Curtis, stop worrying. Just take it easy.
All right, but I won't make any more false reports.
We'll talk about it later. When is Corey due at Larkin?
About 900 hours Universal Start tomorrow.
All right, Curtis. Trowbridge out. Now, what can my men do to convince Corey?
Start decelerating now, Happy. We're nearly on the factory's orbit.
It certainly doesn't look very solid, Commander. Like a bunch of wheels strung together with wires.
Well, would never do on a planet, of course, but out here in space with no gravity pull, it's strong enough.
Where do we join airlock, sir?
At the end of that tube projecting from the circular structure. We'll make our approach from the other side.
It looks like we've got a clear approach on this vector, sir.
Right. Let's contact Larkin and tell him we're coming in for inspection.
Commander Corey, I've been in the manufacturing business for 20 years. This is the first time I've been accused of mismanagement.
All you're being accused of right now, Mr. Larkin, is failure to correct certain faulty equipment after receiving a citation from our inspector.
I tell you, I ordered it corrected.
Did you check to see if the orders were carried out?
Well, frankly, no, I didn't. In the past, I've never found it necessary to check up on my employees.
Mr. Larkin, our inspectors have a regular procedure to follow. Did you say that in the past Curtis has ignored defective equipment?
I don't know whether Curtis has ignored defective equipment or not, but I haven't.
And what about those last 2 reports? What about the complaints of impurities in your product?
Commander, would you like to inspect this factory? Right now?
I certainly would. But you haven't answered my question.
Maybe we'll both know the answers after inspection. I manufacture plastics, not excuses.
All right, Larkin. I'll call my cadet and we'll inspect. I'll say this for you, Larkin. Overall, your factory is run very efficiently.
We haven't finished the tour yet, Commander. With these accusations against me, I think it only fair that you make a complete inspection.
All right. What's next?
Well, you've seen the crew's living quarters, the power control station, and the process control room. As I recall your inspector's last report, there was a defective airlock in number 2 loading chamber.
That's right. Has it been repaired?
I ordered it repaired. Come with me. You can see for yourselves. Oh, here, wait. You'd better both put on heavy coats if you're going in there.
Why, is it cold in there?
About 5 degrees below 0 centigrade. The coats are here in the locker. Here's one for you, Commander.
Thank you.
Here you are, Cadet.
Thanks, Mr. Larkin. Oh, why is the loading chamber so cold?
This chamber is where we keep the hexaplast sheets. They move directly into the hold of a cargo ship, which is also at 5 degrees below 0.
Hexaplast? What's that?
It's a light but very strong plastic, Happy. It's called the material with a memory.
A memory?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me, Commander, the intercom. Larkin, chamber 2. Yes? Can it wait? Oh, but I'm... Oh, all right. I'll be right back. Commander, I've got to go back to the central control room. 2 of my technicians seem to have misinterpreted my instructions on the process routine. Why don't you examine loading chamber 2, and I'll join you in a minute.
Of course, go ahead.
Thanks, Commander.
Now, let's go in, Happy. We'd better secure the door to hold the temperature down.
Well, it's not as cold in here as I expected it to be.
It's a dry cold, low humidity. These coats are pretty heavy.
Well, there sure isn't much room to move around with all these bales stacked in here.
Now, there's the airlock at the other end of the chamber. Let's check the indicator and see if there's any leakage.
Yes, sir. Oh, by the way, Commander, what did you mean when you said hexaplast was a material with a memory?
Well, it can be molded into a certain shape at a fairly high temperature. And when it's cold, the way it is now, it flattens out.
Uh-huh.
When the temperature rises, it springs back into its original form. It's as though its molecules remembered what shape it takes.
What was that?
I don't know. It sounds as though something snapped.
Oh, look, up there. The top bale came undone. Somebody did a sloppy job of packing it. Oh, there goes another one. Hey, look, it's moving. The cargo's shifting.
You've got to get out of here, Happy.
Hey, Commander, what's happening?
The hexaplast, expanding to its original shape. Open the door, hurry.
Locked, sir.
You've got to get out of here in a hurry. If you don't, the hexaplast will push us against the wall.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. This is Captain Dick Tufeld reporting the morning news direct from Terra City. First, the headlines. Commander Corey offers projectoscopes to boys and girls on Earth. Space Patrol mail bags jammed with orders. The commander interrupts all communication lanes to warn projectoscope is offered for limited time only. Those are the headlines, now the details. Today, Buzz Corey is again offering all boys and girls a chance to send for the new 6-inch pocket projectoscope. This streamlined blue and yellow plastic model in the shape of the commander's rocket ship has been designed to do 3 important things. 1, to flash on and off so rapidly it can be used as a signal light. 2, to throw a steady beam of light so it can also be used as a flashlight. 3, to throw pictures on the wall by means of a special strip of film. Response from Earth has been terrific. Orders have been pouring in without let-up, but supplies are still big and work is on schedule. When a letter is received, a projectoscope is mailed at once. But Commander Corey warned in a special bulletin that the projectoscope could be offered for a limited time only. So, gang, send for your projectoscope today. Just buy a box of rice checks or wheat checks. Then, with your name and address, send 35 cents in coin and a rice checks or wheat checks box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now back to today's adventure, the Venus Space Factory. Vincent Trowbridge, owner of a space factory revolving around Venus, has forced the Space Patrol inspector to turn in false reports against Stan Larkin, owner of a competing space factory. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy went to the Larkin plant to investigate. While in loading chamber number 2 of the space factory, the 2 space patrolmen find themselves in danger of being crushed by a rapidly expanding plastic known as hexaplasm as the temperature rises in the chamber.
Stand back, Happy. Let me try that door. Yes, sir. Somebody must have locked it after we got in here. You suppose it was Larkin? Hey, look out! Huh? Wow, its head and yell shroud have been smashed between those 2 blocks of hexaplasm. It's going to keep expanding till it fills every inch of this chamber. That's as hard as rock. Yes, after it reaches its original shape. Commander, could it break through the hull of the chamber? By the time it does, it won't matter to us. Hey, wait. You give me an idea. There's a bale that hasn't broken open yet. Help me drag it to the door. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's move fast, Happy. This bale feels soft. Now let's wedge it between the stack of hexaplasm and the door. A little tighter. Commander, I can feel it expanding. Stand back. When those metal packing strips burst, they'll lash out like whips. There it goes. It's swelling up. Let's hope that door is the weakest part of the chamber. Hey, it works, sir. The door's open. Let's get out of here quickly. Hey, Commander, it's colder out here in the passage than it was in the chamber. Let's get to the control room. I want to hear Larkin's explanation of this. Now, here's the control room, huh? Larkin. Now, here's the control room, huh? Larkin. Now, here's the control room, huh?
Commander, you're safe.
You know what happened in the loading chamber?
Yes. Did you secure the outer door to the passage?
Yes, I did. Now, maybe you'll tell me who locked the refrigeration door.
Locked it? It wasn't locked.
Oh, no? We had to use expanding hexaplasm to break it open.
You were in there with that wild plastic?
Where did you think we were, Larkin?
I don't know. I settled the argument between the 2 technicians, then I came back here and checked the instruments. I could see the temperature was rising in the loading chamber.
What made it rise?
The thermostat must have been defective. It's all right now. Even if the hexaplast bursts the chamber hull, we won't lose any air in the other sections of the factory.
But I'd still like to know what made the temperature rise and the door lock
closed. Why?
Safety. One incompetent or vicious man in this space factory could destroy the lives of everyone aboard it. I'm going to order a ship to be sent here from Venus to remove every one of your staff to Venus City so we can have a complete investigation. I'll assign a space patrol ship to cruise alongside this factory in its orbit around Venus to protect your interests.
Very well, Commander. I'll order a complete shutdown.
All right, Larkin. Come on, Happy. We'll get to our ship and space it from Venus City. Then we'll head for Terra.
Curtis calling Trowbridge aboard Space Factory number 2. Curtis calling Vincent Trowbridge at Space Factory number 2.
Trowbridge here. Go ahead, Curtis.
Are there any cargo ships loading or unloading at the factory?
No ships not due till tomorrow. Fine.
I'm coming there to talk to you.
What am I?
I'll tell you when I get there.
Now, isn't that rather stupid? You aren't due to inspect for another 10 days.
I'm nearly there. Have the airlocks ready.
Why can't you tell me what you want over the space phone? We're full down the scramble circuit.
I've got to talk to you in person.
All right, come ahead. But if you are in trouble, don't expect me.
Commander, shouldn't we be on the Terra Vector? I've changed course, Happy. We're heading for the other space factory on the opposite side of Venus. Why? Something wrong at the Trowbridge plant? Well, so far it's not as serious as what went on at Larkin. I've been getting some interesting information from Major Robertson, though. Trowbridge has been putting out some defective plastics, too, worse than Larkin. Was it in the inspector's report, sir? No. The Bureau of Standards discovered it. It could have been detected by our inspector at the factory. Yet he's consistently given Trowbridge a high efficiency rating. Does the same man check both factories? Yes, George Curtis. Well, maybe he needs a vacation. Yeah, he seemed to be right on his toes when he checked Larkin's plant. Venus City Space Control was supposed to notify me when they located Curtis. He's off duty for 18 hours, so he must be somewhere in the city. Oh, there's another collection of wheels in the viewscope, sir. We're getting close to the Trowbridge factory.
All right, Curtis. Tell me what was important enough to bring you here to the factory at this time. I found out what your men tried to do to Corey with the hexaplast. You might have killed him. Will that have put Larkin in a hot spot? As it is, this will probably finish him. But you don't know the rest of it.
Corey had the whole crew, including Larkin, flown to Venus City for an investigation. I'll be called in to testify.
So what? That close call, Corey will convince him that Larkin isn't fit to operate the factory. You just calm down. Go back to Venus City and be there when he calls you.
But, Trowbridge, don't you realize? Corey will probably give Larkin and his crew a brainograph test and find out about your spy. I hadn't thought of that. Corey will find out you're behind this whole scheme and find out about me.
I'm glad you get that, Curtis. You can find me to Venus before Corey organizes his investigation. We'll have to eliminate those spies of mine before they are given the brainograph test.
I won't have any part of it.
All you have to do is keep your mouth shut. Being a space patrol inspector, you won't be asked to take a brainograph test, not if you play calm.
Commander Corey aboard Terra 5, calling Venus Space Factory number 2. Corey aboard Terra 5, calling Space Factory number 2.
Keep your mouth shut, Curtis. Let me do the talking. Venus Space Factory number 2. Commander Corey. Trowbridge here.
Trowbridge, I want to talk to you on official business.
Of course, Commander.
You'll be ready to join airlock with the factory in about 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yes.
Come ahead, Commander.
Thanks, Mr. Trowbridge. Corey out.
You recognize my ship. Why didn't you stall him till I could get away?
It's too late now. He'd see you anyway. Don't worry. Just do as I say and we'll both be all right. Just get back in that living compartment and lock the door. I'll handle Corey. What are you going to do? Just leave that to me. Go on, get in. Go on, Happy. Yes, sir. Well, Commander Corey, this is rather a surprise.
Hello, Mr. Corbett. I recognize our inspector's ship at number 2 airlock. Is he in here?
Yes, he's inspecting my factory.
It's my impression that he was here 4 days ago.
Oh, you mean you didn't know he was coming here today? I'm afraid Inspector Curtis is a very thorough young man. I've been getting quite a going-over from him.
Yeah?
Well, I'll let him tell you. It's probably in the handling room now. This way, please. Second thought, maybe I'd better tell you myself. Frankly, I tried to deceive Curtis on his last trip here. And I thought I succeeded.
Deceive him?
How? Some defective insulation.
What about it?
Well, I could tell that Curtis wasn't feeling very well. And I thought I'd put it over. But he wouldn't notice. Well, I found out differently. He's going over the entire plant with a vengeance.
After I see Curtis, there are a couple of other matters I want to discuss with you, Mr. Corbett.
Certainly. I'll find Curtis right in here, Commander. The handling room. Just go right in.
Hey! On your feet, Happy. Get through that door after him.
Oh. Commander, we can't touch the floor. What happened?
We're floating. Trowbridge cut off the artificial gravity in here.
You're going right toward the ceiling.
Now, take it easy. When you reach the ceiling, push yourself gently toward the floor.
Yes, sir.
Gently now. You might bounce back up again. When your feet touch, make your way carefully toward the door. Remember, we're completely weightless.
I can reach the ceiling now.
Here it goes. That's it. We're going down.
Just a couple of seconds. This is the strangest feeling.
Easy now. Your feet are almost touching the floor.
Oh, my head. Smoke and rockets, Commander. We were pulled up to the ceiling. There's the floor down there below us.
Trowbridge reversed the gravity field. The pull in this room is toward the ceiling.
How are we going to get down to the floor?
The hard way, I'm afraid. Trowbridge can keep reversing the gravity field from floor to ceiling till he batters us unconscious.
Look, sir. Everything that wasn't bolted to the floor is up on the ceiling all around us. Crates and tools, everything.
Now you see why Trowbridge called this the handling room. You can handle any object by adjusting the gravity field, no matter how heavy.
Yeah, including us. Wow, feel that. I'm pressing harder than ever against the ceiling.
Trowbridge is increasing the gravity field.
What's he going to do? Knock us out by giving us extra G's?
I doubt that he has that much power.
It's strong enough so that I can't stand up on the ceiling.
If he reverses it at this strength, we'll break every bone in our bodies when we hit the floor.
Oh, this is awful. Just waiting for him to smash us down.
Happy, look down there on the wall. See that switch box?
Yes, sir.
It's right by the outer loading hatch. Maybe a gravity control emergency switch. You can just turn that lever to the off position.
But we can't reach it, sir. Not even if we could stand up.
No, but there are a lot of objects around us up here in the ceiling. Small things we could throw. We can hit that switch before Trowbridge reverses the gravity.
There's a small crowbar. It's even hard to crawl with all this high gravity.
There. Now take careful aim, Happy. Remember, be ready to duck
That bar's going to fall back up to the ceiling. That's right. I'm glad you reminded me. Well, here goes.
Watch out, it's falling back.
I didn't throw it nearly hard enough.
I'll try it with this wrench.
If you hit it, we'll have quite a drop to the floor.
If I hit it, we'll stay here in the ceiling till we push ourselves down. Now, cross your fingers.
Hey, you hit it, sir. We're weightless again.
All right, Happy. Easy now. Press against the ceiling with your legs. Push yourself down toward the door. Okay, careful now. Let's go.
Come on, Sergeant. Quick.
Getting to the ship.
What to do with Corey? He's floating around in the handling room, up near the ceiling.
What?
Well, just as I was about to reverse the gravity pole and smash him to the floor, the fuse cut out. I guess I overloaded the coils. Come on, we got to get out of here. Hurry, get it to the ship.
All right, Corbett, stay right where you are.
Hurry!
Commander, I didn't know you were here.
Curtis, you had the right hunch in coming back here, but evidently you didn't know just how far Trowbridge really would go.
No, Commander. Yeah, that's right, Curtis. I might even take a brainograph then.
Happy, take Trowbridge into custody.
No, you don't. Get your hands up, Cadet.
Curtis.
Go on, you too, Corey.
Hey, what is this? Curtis, are you out of your mind?
Good work, Curtis. Now, Corey, we'll get him, Happy. All right, you two, on your feet.
I've got their weapons, sir.
Commander, Trowbridge forced me to help him. He bribed two of Larkin's guards to heat up the hexaplasm chamber. I didn't have a thing to do with it.
Curtis, keep your mouth shut.
You might as well let him talk, Trowbridge. We've got enough on you right now.
Commander, I'll tell you everything. Honestly, I will. I only did what I did so I wouldn't lose my inspector's job.
Curtis, you have a peculiar idea of an inspector's duties.
Yeah, don't worry, Curtis. You'll still be an inspector. You can inspect the inside of a criminal rehabilitation center.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Gang, everybody's talking about the projectoscope, and no wonder. It's terrific. Now, here's a boy who's been talking about his projectoscope since the moment he got it. That was on Saturday morning.
Junior, look. I got my projectoscope. Man, it's really neat. Look at that. It's shaped like a real outer space rocket ship with tail fins and a radar antenna.
Sunday night, and he's still going strong.
Hey, Dad, turn out the light. There now. I'm going to show you some pictures on the wall with my projectoscope. That's Buzz Corey and Cadet Happy, you see there. It's a real Space Patrol adventure. It's called Mighty Meteor. And there's 3 other adventures on the same film.
And so it went with his friends on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Look at Joe. Look at this projectoscope flash signals in the dark. See how fast I can blink it on and off?
Then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday again. And this boy is still talking about his projectoscope.
Don't cry, sis. I'll find that nickel you dropped here in the dark. See, I got my projectoscope in my pocket. And it's a swell flashlight, too. See that beam of light? Hey, here's your nickel, sis. Good old projectoscope.
Gang, get yourself one of these wonderful projectoscopes. We have enough for all of you, and we'll send you one the day we get your order. Just buy a box of rice checks or wheat checks. Then, with your name and address, send 35 cents in coin and a rice checks or wheat checks box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Write that down. Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy have joined airlocks to the spaceship in which 2 criminals are holding Carol captive. Although the criminals have meekly surrendered over the spaceophone, Buzz is still wary. Happy is going to open the inner hatch. Have your rig gun ready.
Yes, sir.
You got us, Commander, with our hands up. Look, I'll turn on the light so you can see better.
Happy, the lights. They're blinding, Commander. I can't see.
Let them have it, Rambo. They can't see. They're helpless.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Cosmic Ray Detector, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Wilson again bring you Space Patrol! Special bulletin for boys and girls in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Washington, D.C. Buzz Corey's own space battle cruiser, the Ralston Rocket, will be in your area next week. Don't miss it. The Ralston Rocket. Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Ken Mayer, Baylor Kobach, Norman Jolly, and David Duval. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when we check right